Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's Jay the Great here. Welcome back to another stream. We are back. Got me and Batman here in the stream today. Hope you folks are doing well. We just finished watching. The reason we started a little light, apologies for that, folks. We were watching the Garcia fight. We were going to stream our reaction to it. I didn't know it was going to start so early. That's my fault. Should have looked into that sooner. But yeah, we definitely want to discuss that. I did ask you guys to ask some, pre-established questions, just like back in the day. So we're gonna go ahead and answer those to start out the stream while you guys come in. Um, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. It's a good fight night, a good fight weekend. Unfortunately, the fights today weren't that, I guess, fulfilling. If you watch them, you guys know what I mean. Haney's performance was subpar. Ryan lost, which is unfortunate. He just looked very gun shy after Rolly dropped him in the second. We'll discuss that. Feel free to ask questions about that. But yeah, I'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and answer your questions that you guys already asked when I asked you guys to ask any questions you may have for today's stream. Let me just let the people know real quick that we are live and we'll get started here. Hope you folks are doing well, by the way. Um, let's see here. All right, let's go ahead and check out your guys' questions here. Appreciate the question, by the way, folks. So we had one here. Best choreography in Naruto. You could list one specific scene or entire fight. All right, so that's a good question. Now the best choreographed fight in Naruto, the first one that comes to mind, truly, is probably Naruto versus Sasuke. Um, Honestly, one or two. I think they were very well choreographed. The fight sequences, the countering, the striking, the sort of graceful strikes and counters that we would see in both fights. What's going on, Gojo FY? What type of question can I ask? You can ask about anything. Anime, sports, even politics. We talk about it all. Anything you want to ask, really. As long as you're not trolling or anything, we'll answer, anything you may have. So feel free. By the way, folks, if you haven't already, please make sure to hit the like button if you haven't already. It's greatly appreciated. But yeah, so I believe the Naruto versus Sasuke fights, honestly, either one, were very well choreographed. Like I said, very graceful sequences. The striking exchanges, the jutsu clashes, the jutsu executions. It was just a beautiful dance in both, I would say, fights. There's a reason why they're so admired and revered by the fandom, by the Naruto fandom, rather. So I would say probably either one or two are the best choreographed in Naruto if I had to pick. Better than any other I could think of at the top of my head currently. Yeah, they're very well done fights. All right. By the way, folks, I almost forgot. I have a new clips channel. It's in the description. Feel free to go subscribe to that. There will be, normal and consistent uploading. I actually hired someone to do that. So shout out to him.
Is there Eclipse,
It's
right?
gonna, yeah, the clips channel. Make sure to go subscribe to that. It's in the description. Not only will we be posting, obviously, our streams, I also told, the editor to any cool clips you can find from his videos, go ahead and drop that as well. So expect that to come, at least a couple a week, at the very least. So expect that. Go subscribe to that. But yeah, that should be good. Give me a second to make sure it's in the description. Yeah, it is. So go ahead and check that out. There's already two clips there already. And as weeks go on, there'll be more and more. Can you check my edits? Yeah, sure. Maybe on, when I'm not streaming. But yeah, that's great. That was a good question. But yeah, like I said, go subscribe to that, folks. It's gonna be consistent. Also, TikTok, I hired somebody to take care of that. Really want to get more content out there. We've been consistent for a long time. I know we've been a little inconsistent because of IRL endeavors, but I do want to continue pumping out content and just making the best content we can for you guys. So expect to see streams there consistently. Excuse me, as clips there consistently rather. So there is a question in the other area that I asked. Let me check it out again. All right, so this is a good question actually. Should data books use flowery language or over embellishments, like Tamari's Scythe being said to be able to shake the universe? If it's okay, should data books be used in debates? That's a good question. Now, this is what I'll say. It de it depends, right? I think it goes. It's a case by case natured debate tool. I do believe that there are hyperbolic statements. Now, data books, I do believe, serve multiple purposes rather. I know many only want it to serve as a power scaling reference, right? Like, oh, this guy's this strong, he beats this guy, and that they want it to be very black and white, very hyper literal, and nothing more. But writers don't think that way. Authors don't think that way, especially when an anime is new. They want they want sales, right? They want sales, and because of that, they're going to incorporate and implement hyperbolic statements into the data books to further hype up characters. For characters to be marketable, they must be, you know, very hook grabbing type of characters. You know, Itachi, for example,
Yeah.
he's a very, very admired and very appealing character. You can't just have black and white power scaling statements in data books. It just won't be as entertaining or as appealing emotionally to the audience. So I do think it's
Yeah.
okay. Now, as far as do I think data book statements are okay to use in debates? Again, it's case by case. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Now, an example of when to use it would be, for example, when when
Yeah.
Hiruzen's being described, right? He surpassed his predecessor,
Yeah, that's a good
aka
example.
Togurama.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you look at the narrative, the way to confirm this is reliable is look at the narrative itself, use analytical thinking. Does it seem like Hiruzen surpassed Togurama? Yes. Right. The things that he accomplished, his lore,
His
etc.,
feats, other
his
statements.
feats, yeah, other statements. Now, an example, obviously not to use would be like the one that in the question that was already implemented. Tamari's wind can blow away the universe. Should that be taken hyper literal?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I mean, she wasn't even this. She couldn't even scratch Madara, who's at best, when alive, maybe large city level or maybe continental if you really wank them. So clearly, she's not universal, right? You wouldn't use that statement.
Or fucking Itachi having like his MS being able to see all things in the universe.
Exactly.
Like,
So it's a case by
oh,
case natured affair. I wouldn't say just completely get rid of them, but also I wouldn't say, take every single data book statement hyperliteral either. I think it's case by case. The context of the actual narrative that it's referencing matters. And the best way to prepare for that is to be familiar with the narrative the data book is, referencing. But that's a good question. It is a very good question. Let's see what you guys are saying here. What's good? What's going on, Proj? What's going on, brother? Good to see you. See you, brother.
yeah, like in a simple consensus, like data books are good for debates. Honestly, I think the rule of thumb though is data books are normally utilized for substantial evidence. I mean,
Right,
not
right,
for
yeah,
like the Hail Mary or the whole Holy Grail.
yeah,
If you're just using that only as your main premise or like for your main, evidence to present, like that's not really the best because unfortunately the data book statements there could be so many meanings behind it. Again, if
right,
it's
right, yeah,
literal, hyperbolic, if it's only for the narrative, like during the story at that time and point, you know what I mean? Only for that time, not like overall or throughout the entirety of the narrative. You know what I mean? Like there's so much ambiguity and it's so like there's so much you can interpret with the data books that like that's why it's not really the best source of evidence to utilize. It's the fact that it can branch off in so many ways, or there's so many
right,
ways how you can present that evidence that it's really not the best thing to do. You really only want to do that as like a collaborative evidence, so like to continue to substantiate whatever premise or point you're already trying to convey. Initially, you want to start with feats and then you add statements to the feats, you know what I mean? Or a data book to really add more value to it, right? You know what I mean? That's the way I would really go about it.
yeah,
Because if you just immediately start with a data book statement, or even just a normal statement within the show, like that's only going to do so much. Because again, statements can easily be put into question, right? Like, and
exactly,
when you put it into question, and obviously it goes from there. If you don't know the validity of the statement, then There's only so much you can do with it. Like, and there's tons of examples. Like, there's you got the statements where it says, like the whole bullshit with Jiraiya with Itachi and Kasame, right? Like that's another example, and that's
Right.
within the narrative. That's not even a
Within the
data
narrative.
book statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you have statements of like, Itachi, he's just evil, right? He did it all for no reason or just like to test his power, which obviously if you further read the narrative and get into Shippuden and not only part 1, you actually learn there's more to it and it's not just, you know what I mean? So like again,
Right.
like there's a lot when it comes to statements and so on and so forth. So and it's like Jay said, it's a time and place. It really depends. And it also boils down to your debating skills too. Like if you're only using a data book as your source of evidence, like you better be a very, very good argumentative debater to be able to somehow get the W with just that, source of evidence, because that's really, really hard to do. You know,
Exactly. It's almost
um,
as if data
yeah,
books in general, I would say in general, are not primary sources of evidence. I would say the majority of the
yeah,
time, the primary source is the narrative. It's the narrative itself. It's the fights that take, whatever the case may be, fights or moments
yeah.
or characters. That's
The
on.
context within the narrative or the feat
Yeah,
itself is typically your actual primary source of evidence.
exactly. And most of the time, the data books are secondary or even tertiary sources of evidence. Supplemental, like Batman
Yeah.
said. So,
Like,
you hear,
and honestly, I'm kind of glad this got brought up though, Jay, because
yeah.
this is the reason why this is important is because this allows, like, the problem with the data books is a lot of people try to utilize the data books for sophist tactics or to like push like shock value agendas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's another issue too.
yeah, that's
Um,
definitely an issue.
and that's a problem because obviously if you have tons of contradicting, statements within the manga, whatever, or just feats that blatantly like show that that's bullshit, right? You're gonna have issues. So like that's another like factor of it too. Like the data books, because of how ambiguous it is, it allows you to kind of try to be ratty or to try to formulate certain types of scalings that doesn't really have a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So that's an issue. Like there is a video I saw not too long ago. I'm not gonna list names just out of respect, but um what's it called, where he was basically saying like Kabuto, like with a data book statement or whatever, therefore this would apply to Kabuto throughout the entirety of Naruto, and meaning that his scaling always has to be stagnant or similar to Kakashi. And
Oh
I
my God.
extremely highly disagree with that
Yeah.
because Kabuto in the part 1 in the narrative, it's pretty straightforward that, he's similar to Kakashi, right? Like it's
Yeah.
pretty abundant. But when you get to Shippuden, Kabuto starts getting a lot of anti feats or a lot of L's. Like and it's really like very ambiguous of what you have with him in Shippuden too.
Yeah.
Where in
Ambiguous.
Shippuden, all you get is he gets bitched by Three Tails V1 Naruto, instantly bitched. Okay, and the second showing he has, he gets subdued by Yamato and Sai. Like
Yeah.
that's really bad. Like I'm sorry, Kakashi doesn't lose to Yamato. He always beats Yamato. You see what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Like
Right.
and
Right.
things like that. So like scalings do eventually do change and so on and so forth. And you have to go with what you have through the narrative. You can't just be like, oh well, here's this data book and and we know it's through for these chapters, whatever else. I mean, and therefore it has to be it, and that's not necessarily the
Flawed.
case,
Yeah.
right?
That's
You have to
flawed.
go with what you have. It's
Yeah.
very flawed thinking. And it's either just pure incompetence or just ignorance, right? It's one
Yeah.
of the two, or
Ignorance.
dishonesty,
Yeah.
whichever.
Exactly. Dishonesty.
So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's what you got for it. But yeah,
Exactly. A few good questions. I probably appreciate you, brother. Gotcha. Thoughts on Garcia versus Romero. So we just finished watching that. This is what I'll say. For one, I'll give credit where credit's due. Romero is a better pure boxer than I anticipated. I've seen him fight
yeah,
before, but he boxed very proficiently today. Two, Garcia isn't good at getting hit. And and that sounds very obvious, right? Who is? What I mean is there are, some of the greats or most of the greats are very good at recovering from either being dropped or being stunned, right? A good example was Floyd Mayweather against Shane Mosley years ago. He was rocked, one of the very few times he was ever rocked in his career. He dominated the entire rest of the fight, did not lose a single round.
yeah,
While conversely, Garcia got dropped twice, I believe, in the second round by Romero by some very good setup hooks, and he never recuperated mentally. That's the big part. Physically, it's you can't really control that. Mentally, that's where separates the greats from, a good fighter. And Garcia tonight did not do that. He was very gun shy, very gun shy, very tense. You could tell he was anticipating another power punch. He did not like how that felt. Who does, right? But mentally, he didn't recuperate. And because of that, he lost the fight. Romero, did what he had to do. He went to the body as well, switched it up. He was just more active. After the drop, I'll admit he didn't dominate Garcia, but he did outbox him. It's that simple. It wasn't a dominating performance, aside for the drop, the knockdowns. But at the end of the day, Romero outboxed him and dropped him in the second. And it's very abundantly clear that Garcia mentally never recuperated from that. He didn't regain his aggression that he had prior to that second round. So it was disappointing. It was a disappointing performance by Garcia and a disappointing night. Haney didn't look that good either. So that rematch, I doubt many people will care as much as they do now. I mean, as they did prior, excuse me. So you hear GTA got delayed again? Oh man, I'm not surprised, dude. Now they're saying May 26, 2026. Like, how much longer, man? We're gonna end up waiting 2 decades, 3 decades for fucking GTA 6. It's already been over a decade. I'm gonna be like
Wait,
fucking
my question is, wait. What threw me off is like they said, "Oh, it's delayed and it's going to May." Like there was actually already a date it was supposed to be released. Like I didn't even
yeah.
know that.
I believe it was October-ish or something like that this year, I believe. And now they're like, oh, we need
Okay.
more time. We need to make it perfect. I'm like,
Wait,
oh,
wait,
well,
wait. Because we're in May right now. Are they saying this May or next May?
yeah, next May, 2026. Yeah.
Next year?
So next year,
Oh,
yeah.
that's crazy, bro. I
They
thought they
pushed.
meant this May.
That'd be
Okay, that's
amazing, actually.
crazy.
No, that's wild.
That's
And
insane.
but all I gotta say is, it better be worth it, man. Better be worth it. The original day was October
uh,
6th. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It was October 6th. That's
bro,
it's
like they're acting like this game is gonna be like fucking like some omnipotent type shit, bro. Like it's let's
dude.
be real. Let's all be real. It doesn't matter how long it's not gonna be like that fucking insane or ridiculous. It's gonna be a great game, probably, right?
Yeah.
But not like some fucking like you know what I mean? Like come on, bro. Like they're acting like they're trying to make something like to that extent or of a masterpiece. And it's like at the end of the day, it's fucking GTA, bro. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
there's only so much you can fucking do with that, you know? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're taking it like that serious to begin with, you know?
Man, I'm gonna be like 40
Like
years old by the time that
how
shit
many
comes
years
out,
has it
man.
been? Like
It's
that
already it's
ass.
already been like 12 years already. It's gonna be 13 next year. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
exactly. So
fucking
that's what I'm
lifetime.
saying. Like if it's been that long, like come on, but you just release it at this point.
Yeah, man, come
Like
on.
shit. Like
It's crazy. Have you guys seen Thunderbolts? If so, thoughts. I'm gonna be honest, Thunderbolts just doesn't interest me. The characters in it, they're not very relevant to me, emotional, like, as far as emotional appeal. I just don't really care about it.
yeah, I didn't really yeah,
I'm,
same.
I'm probably not even
Yeah.
gonna watch it. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't really care for it.
I heard a lot of good about it.
Yeah,
But yeah, same thing here. Like it just, I'm like, fucking,
it's whatever.
what's it called? I will say like the only one that's in there that I do fuck with is Bucky. You know,
Bucky's the guy. Yeah,
um,
Bucky's that guy for
yeah,
sure.
but that's about it. But and then the only other reason why I was intrigued, is because Sentry's in it. And he's like one of the
Oh,
big
right,
boys,
right.
like the dude that like was able to brawl
He's a
with World War
powerhouse.
Hulk in the
Yeah,
comics and shit. Yeah, he's a powerhouse. Which I'm gonna be real, I can already tell just by the trailer alone that they're actually gonna do the Sentry right. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because they can't do the Hulk right, but they'll do that motherfucker right. But so at
Facts.
least they're doing the Sentry right, because if you look at the trailer, he like blocked Bucky's punch and then ripped it off effortlessly,
Oh
and then
God.
he like sent Bucky flying across the city.
No, that's
So
accurate. Yeah.
so like yeah, so like I like what they're doing with Sentry Ready. He's basically the Superman of Marvel. Is what they're
Yeah,
probably gonna
facts.
do with him.
Yeah.
But
Are you more
yeah,
excited for James Gunn's Superman or Marvel Fantastic Four? With, as of now with the trailers, Superman by far. I'm gonna be honest. By far, I'm more excited for Superman. I'm just being honest. With the trailers, right? With what we know right now, Superman by far. It seems much more polarizing. The plot, from what we can, extrapolate, seems much more just hype. It seems much more interesting. Little small snippets you get, like Lex Luthor, and it seems like he's fighting a Kryptonians, and it seems like he's fighting some giant beast, and uh, there's multiple villains that we could predict might be in it. So it's definitely interesting to me. Have you guys been watching season 2 of The Last of Us? Or so thoughts? Actually, I have been keeping up with it. The Last of Us. First things first. The Last of Us as a video game might be the best story natured
Yeah.
video game I've ever played. That's how good it is. As far as the television show, I would say pretty good to possibly very good. Season 2 so far has been interesting. There are some pros, as far as rather there are some superior moments compared to the game and some inferior moments. I think one in particular that was inferior was spoiler alert. I mean, the game itself has been out for fucking forever. Um,
Yeah.
when when Joel dies, a big part that really stuck with me in the game was Tommy was there. Tommy was there. He saw everything. That was the reason for his vengeance, right? Was because of that. Here, it's Dina. Dina, she doesn't even get to see it really. She gets sedated, so she's asleep when all this shit happens. She knows that Joel's probably gonna die, but she's like sedated and drugged. And this is a small thing, but a thing that I liked more in the game was how cold Joel was before he died. Basically said like,
Yeah.
why don't you just get whatever you have rehearsed and get this shit over with? That's what he told her in the game. Here, I mean, he says something cold too. He says, "Shut the fuck up and just do it already." That's kind of cool too. But I don't know. I just think
Uh-huh.
Joel is colder in the game. But either way, that's a small one. I'm just being nitpicky there, but
No,
that's
that's
something.
that's always been my thing too, though, Jay. Like in the
Yeah,
games, Joel, he's that motherfucking guy, bro.
he's
He's a
cold as
one man
fuck.
army in the games. Like
Yeah,
he's fucking tearing everybody up. He can fuck shit
his
up. Like
aura.
he's he's a beast. In
Yeah,
the TV show, they went the more realism route. You know, they made it more
yeah,
realistic and
therapy. Yeah,
yeah, like they made it way more realistic. Like he's not like a one man army. He actually has to be smart and shit, and that's fine. But
that's fine.
you know,
Yeah,
it's very different. You know, it is different in many
yeah.
ways. Whether if it's the realism aspects, and then like the stuff that you've been pinpointing and pointing out, like there's certain things with it where it's like, I don't know. The game's probably a lot more enjoyable in certain aspects, but
Certain aspects.
other than that, like, it's good, but like at the end of the day, it's definitely not like the game. You know, the game
Yeah,
is
it's not like the
definitely
game. And
yeah, it's
one
definitely
point
better.
that might you could argue made it more interesting in certain ways to the game was the Jackson event. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen
Yeah.
the last episode. Fucking Jackson gets raided by a fucking horde. And that's why
Mm.
Tommy wasn't with Joel. He was there when that happened, and he had to defend Jackson, and it fucking got eradicated. Like I think it looked like almost everyone fucking died. Like the horde broke in, they broke the wall down, fucking slaughtered almost everybody. Almost Tommy almost died. If it weren't for his flamethrower just held up enough time to kill a bloater that almost ripped his fucking face off. But that was
Yeah.
fire. Not gonna lie, I like that. It's a little something different from the game. I fucked with. Um,
And that's great. Like stuff like
yeah,
that is great. I
that's
mean, like
fire.
that's a W. You know, like that's a good example of like what you need. Another example what you don't necessarily need. Like, because I'll never forget when I first watched season one. I'm sorry, but they added like this entire episode of like a gay couple. Like,
Oh,
bro, it could
Bill.
be a
Yeah,
straight.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it could be a straight couple or a gay couple. I don't give a
That
fuck.
was
But
filler, man. That was filler.
what was the point of adding that whole ass episode? Like that was
Yeah.
unnecessary. Like that had nothing to do with the main story. Like I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about a guy or a woman having a love story, and then Joel and Abby eventually get in there, or two dudes having a love story, and then they've been like, I don't give a fuck about like
Yeah, that
so like
wasn't.
that is a
Yeah,
perfect example of like why
that was
like why
that
sit in
was
there.
completely irrelevant. That was just filler. I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, yeah, we like Bill mentions it in the game, like that was my partner, implying they might have been together. But like, dude, we don't need a whole fucking episode of them fucking having a whole life together. Like, that's not relevant to the story.
Literally, like, I was like, that's just unnecessary, bro.
uh,
Like, and then on top of it, like, I'm not gonna assume what the writer's intentions were too, but at the end of the day, like, you got to be careful with stuff like that because some people take offense to it and they're like, hey, like, this seems like you're trying to do some woke stuff or
right,
whatever
right,
the heck
yeah,
is going on. They're like, and we don't want all that. We just want to enjoy what the original source came from the game, right?
yeah,
And things like that. Like a lot of people can take offense to it, basically, is what I'm saying. And we've
yeah,
seen tons and tons of examples to where, it's on that phrase where like go woke, go broke, you know what I mean, or whatever. Or like
Yeah.
tons of things that have happened where it went to shit because they're trying to do, and nobody wants to see that. At the end of the day, if we're
Yeah.
watching Marvel, we want to see action and shit. We don't want to see, politics or any of the real world stuff into it, or all this stuff, whatever, blah blah.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's the
Yeah.
issue at the end of the day. And again, and I'm only saying that because it was a gay couple. Obviously, if it's a straight couple, no one's gonna come to like that conclusion or have that same energy with it. More than likely might be more accepting with it. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's still unnecessary.
It's
Even if it's a
unnecessary.
straight couple, we
Yeah.
don't need that. We don't need a
We
whole
don't.
filler ass fucking
Yeah, that was a
episode
waste
of a
of
love, like, so
that was a
again,
waste
it
of an
is
episode.
like
Yeah.
straight or gay, it's bad, but with gay, it technically can be even more bad perceived by the audience, is what I'm saying. Because people just they don't like, you know what I mean? Like they don't want that shit being in it. So we
They're
already know
extreme.
as how controversial it is as it is. Like, why put something controversial when you know it could potentially backlash? You know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
just not productive business wise. But
Yeah, it is
you know,
risky. Like
yeah, it's risky.
extreme right will take offense to it. Either way, it's irrelevant. I mean, it's not to the fucking
Yeah, it's
story, so
irrelevant.
it's irrelevant. It's weird.
Oh yeah,
So yeah,
good examples, bad examples. All I'm saying.
yeah. Overall, so far eight. I'd say solid 8 out of 10 so far. Last of
It
Us.
is a good show, though. Don't get it
Yeah,
twisted. It's a very good show.
very
Very
good show
fucking good. And that's because they stuck to the core material for the most part,
for the
not
most part.
completely, but for the most part, for the
Yeah,
things that mattered.
yeah,
So that's what I really liked and respected.
and Neil
So
Druckmann, he's very intelligent when it comes to storytelling. There's a reason why The Last of Us was a masterpiece, you know. So I'm glad
yeah,
he's at least involved in the TV show to some extent. So, Solo Leveling season 3 was confirmed by Jinwoo's voice actor for early 2027. Dude, Solo Leveling. So I'm glad you brought this up, Prodigy. I was watching, shout out to RDC. They were doing a back and forth, and they were arguing who has more aura, Gojo or Jinwoo. So here's the thing. The argument for most of them was that Gojo has more aura because he's not forcing it. But that's
yeah,
opinionated. Now, when someone loses, they inevitably lose aura. Someone in the video said like, "Oh, you don't lose, just because you lose a fight doesn't mean you don't have aura." I'm like, "Okay, no, but you lose aura." Especially in the nature that Gojo lost. He got fucking sliced in half by Sukuna after saying he would
yeah,
win multiple times. How do you not lose aura after that? I don't understand that. The Jinwoo,
yeah.
like,
That's
yeah, you say you're gonna win from the beginning, like the very first fucking episode or like couple chapters, he says I would beat him. Like if he had all his fingers, would he
Yeah,
win? Would you
if he
win?
didn't
Yeah,
say
win.
that, if he didn't say that, in all honesty, I think it would have been way more like acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
People wouldn't have really like, but like people are gonna still be outraged no matter what, because at the end of the day, that character is basically Kakashi of JJK, if we're all
yeah,
being
facts.
honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But obviously like very, very powerful, like Kakashi, because Kakashi was balanced in Naruto, while Gojo, he was always the strongest.
the strongest.
But at the end of the day, like that's the problem. Like it's like, yeah, they started it like that to where he's talking all that shit, whatever, blah, and then just for how he ends up, like
Yeah,
if you're gonna make him lose in a more like believable or better yet respectable way, right? Like make it a really close battle or some shit, you know, or
yeah,
better yet, like or just like he just got fatigued. Like that would even be great. You know what I mean, right? Like to where
yeah,
he put up a fight, he did what he had to do. He's a badass, but because he's starting to get tired or whatever, and he's a human, while Sakuna is a what he is. Like that's why he inevitably loses at the end of the day. Kind of like an equity issue, and that would have even been more accepting. So like
yeah,
it's just how they fucking did it, an off-screen fucking death. Like what?
yeah.
Like like
It definitely took away from his
so.
aura. They're just romanticizing Gojo. Like, yeah, he was that guy, man. He was the guy in anime. I admit that. That's what I thought of him too at his peak. But he got fucking annihilated. He got annihilated after saying he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And Jin Woo, he came from the trenches. He came from the bottom. He fucking died. The system re fucking revived him, and he became him. His willpower is the reason
Yep.
why he became him, literally, and why he becomes the strongest fucking, the strongest fucking hunter in the fucking planet. Where he's fucking taking out gods and stuff, because he's him. His aura is unmatched. He
Yeah.
fucking shows up, destroys everybody. Everyone's like fucking jaw drops, and he just keeps
Literally.
getting stronger. Like, I think it's safe to say Jinwoo, his aura has surpassed Gojo's. I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. I mean,
And here's the thing too. Like you could try to argue, like, oh, but he's an MC and Gojo's a side, so it's not really fair. And honestly, like to a degree, you could apply that argument, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really work either because Naruto is a perfect example, in my opinion. He's the
yeah,
MC, yet he's over here getting bitched all the time in the show. Like
yeah,
he's like the weakest in the beginning of the show. He got no aura. You know what I mean? Like fucking,
exactly.
he's playing the catch up game the whole time. Sasuke is normally 9 out of 10 times above him for the most part, et cetera, right? Like he's the MC, yet he's still, you know what I mean? Like he's not that guy. Like he actually
Yeah,
really, really has to get in the trenches and get to that point. And eventually he becomes that guy, you
yeah,
know. But he wasn't for a lot of the entirety of the fucking show, is what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? So like even if you're the MC, okay, you could still not have aura, you know what I mean? Or still be trash for a good while and then eventually have some aura, right?
exactly.
Like while fucking like bro, Jinwoo, that motherfucker just had it. Like from there, it just kept going and going, bro. Like
Yeah,
he literally had his Naruto arc in the beginning for like 2 seconds, and even like while he had his Naruto arc, like he was still pretty cool because he was very intelligent. Like he
yeah.
was weak, but he was very smart. But then that shit happens. Like Jay said, he died, whatever, the willpower shit, whatever. He comes back, and then he's just that guy from there. Like he just literally is that guy and just keeps getting better and better and just has insane aura, bro. Insane.
Insane, dude. It's like levels that
Like
we've never
yeah.
seen. He's him, man. It's
So
that
like
simple.
so it is a W at the end of the day is what I'm getting at for him. Like you can't just pull that, oh, he's an MC exception. Like no. Like there's a lot of MCs that do not perform or do what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no. It's
if anything, it takes a while for them to get to that point. That's what typically Arthurs normally do with the MC is they start them from like the weakest right point they are at, and then they make them get like stronger and stronger. But it takes a while. This dude, he's just getting there. Like he's just
yeah,
immediately going through that process, and he's just that guy. You know what I mean?
and it works.
And we have examples like that. We have Naruto, Ichigo, Luffy, like all these
Yeah,
characters to where like they're not like badasses right off the whip, right? They don't have
yeah,
fucking aura and all that right off the whip. They have to really earn it, and it takes until you get to like all the way in the middle or end of their fucking show where they're finally getting to where they need to be, and that
yeah.
guy.
And
So
people act
yeah,
like Jinwoo's road has been easy. Like he almost died multiple times when he fought Igris. Igris was
yeah,
chivalrous. He could have. He actually, even Jinwoo still admits, if Igris would have kept his blade with him, he would have died that day. He wouldn't have beat Igris. He would have fucking died.
yeah.
Another one was fucking Baraka or something, that the fucking frost elk looking motherfucker. He could have died to him too if he didn't have his shadows. Fucking there's multiple times he could have fucking died. So it's not like him just slaughtering and never being tested. Like he's been tested, especially at the beginning. He was tested all the fucking time. He was on his life was on the line literally like every fight. So it's
Yep.
definitely not forced. He earned it. That's what it is. And
No, yeah, he earns it. He does earn it.
uh,
Yeah, that's
his
what I'm saying.
willpower.
So
That's why he
like,
gets to that level.
yeah, so that's what I'm
So
saying. Like, while and then again, like you have all the other MCs where they're trying, they're doing their damn best, whatever, but they're still taking L's. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
exactly.
if anything, it's worse for Naruto or Ichigo or Luffy or all these motherfuckers because if anything, it's even worse for them because the plot is saving them. Whatever fucking secret power up they have. Like for
Yeah,
Naruto, it's the Nine Tails. For Ichigo, it's the holification. For fucking Luffy, whatever the fuck he has going on, like they always have like this really strong plot armor, right, to keep them in the picture to
facts.
where they don't die and just
Yeah,
be non-existent. Like while with this dude, fucking, he's earning everything he's fucking doing. You know what I mean? Like he's
literally
just
video game.
becoming that
Yeah.
dude. You know?
Yeah, literally.
So
But yeah, another good question. I'm glad this was asked. Where is it? I just had it. My bad, folks. Uh, 100 men versus one gorilla. So for some whatever reason, this
what kind
random
of dumbass
topic,
question is that?
yeah, this random topic went viral on like social media, especially X, and people were actually debating who would win, 100 men or one gorilla. So first of all,
That's so retarded.
yeah, it's really random, kind of stupid. First of all, you have to establish the presuppositions. Are the 100 men bloodlusted? Are they willing to do whatever it fucking takes? That has to be answered
Yeah.
first. If not, the gorilla's gonna slaughter like three or four, and the rest are gonna run. And now,
Yep.
if they're all bloodlusted and they'll fucking all be willing to die, and they're bloodlusted, fucking primal, like they're like some fucking, fucking 1000 BC fucking Indian tribes or whatever, then things
Yeah.
change because they're gonna fucking bite that fucker. They're gonna fucking try to gouge his eyes out. They're gonna fucking do whatever. They're all gonna like attack at the same time. Like
Yeah.
they
Now
don't.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, if it's just them with like their body and shit, I'd still think the gorilla is coming on top. Like, would the gorilla be unscathed? No, but
No.
I don't
Yeah.
think
No.
they're taking down the gorilla. They're gonna. The only way they're beating a gorilla is if they have guns or spears or bows. They need weapons to take that bitch down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and even that is a gamble itself. But like, they're not. If it's just their hands and shit, nah. Like, you guys don't know how powerful a fucking gorilla is, bro.
Yeah. Very very
like,
strong.
like chimpanzee, like I don't know if you heard the horror stories of what chimpanzees can fucking do to a human. Imagine a gorilla.
Yeah. I'll
like,
say 100
like
men. It depends. Is it possible they could win? Yes, but it depends
yeah,
on who these men are. Are they willing to die? Are they
exactly.
trained? Do they know the weak points of a gorilla? Do they have team chemistry? Do they know each other? Like, there's many things that matter. I would say, in general, the average, if it was
Like, and
100 at,
yeah, like is it an
yeah,
average dude or is it a
yeah.
UFC fight? Like, you know what I mean, like there's so
If
much
it's a
shit.
hundred
Like,
average men, I highly doubt. Because first of all,
highly doubt.
a few of them would get slaughtered and the rest would fucking run away for their lives.
Yeah,
So,
maybe like 100 special forces human dudes, peak
yeah,
human condition dudes, or Marines, or maybe even a UFC fighter or some shit,
yeah.
But if it's average, no, fuck no. I don't
Yeah, so
fucking.
it definitely depends on that. And yeah, average, no. I'd say they wouldn't. I think they wouldn't even engage. They'd see a few get slaughtered and then run off, run for their fucking lives. So it really
Yeah.
depends on the guys that were being discussed here. But yeah, folks, here's another one. Five silverbacks versus one polar bear. A polar bear is larger than one silverback, but five of them, they would be like gnawing at it. That's a lot of fucking weight coming at him.
Yeah.
One polar bear would struggle. I mean, it could win theoretically if it slashes at, each one of their necks or some shit because it's a lot larger,
Yeah.
but more than likely the silverbacks would pound it to death. They would batter it. I think more than likely it would batter it to death. It could win though. It could win. And in the
Yeah.
right
Mhm.
circumstances, it could win. But more times than not, I think the silverbacks would just jump it, probably kill it, fucking beat it to death. This is too much for one polar bear. But yeah,
Basically, I don't know.
folks, any questions you may have, feel free to ask here. Be any questions at all. Trying to see if there's any other ones out. I think there was another one that was asked real quick. Let me see something. Let me double check. There's another question that was asked during the stream.
I'll be right back, Jay. While you're doing that.
Oh, you're good. So this is an IRL question that was asked. Should not tipping be punished? If so, why is it not a required fee? If you have a business that can't survive without people tipping, then you don't have a sustainable business, in my opinion. Okay. So should not tipping be punished? No. I think that's ridiculous. I think someone should be required to pay something that, isn't for the product. Now, do I think it's very commendable to tip, especially good, someone that delivers good customer service? Yes. I do think it's very commendable. And I think, if someone gives great customer service, you should tip them. Why not? You know, but should you be legally required to do so? No, no. Now, do I think should businesses have the right to require tips? Sure. I think any business should be ran the way, people want them to be ran. However the owner wants it to be run, they should be able to run it that way. And if someone doesn't want to tip, then don't eat there, or don't, you know, have service from there. Don't go there for service or whatever. So I would say it shouldn't be punishable by law. Um, but I do think it's a good thing to do for good customer service. I do think that's the case. It's very strange though when customer service workers get completely outraged by it when it's not required. It's very strange. But I do think it's the right thing to do if customer service is good. Yeah. But yeah, folks, any questions at all, feel free. Any questions at all? Tell this stream is a little low on the viewers today, but it's all right. We keep the train rolling. Maybe because it's a Friday and I did it kind of late. And I did delay it a lot, so that might have been another reason why. My apologies, folks. Give me a second, folks. Yeah, folks, any questions at all? I do want to bring weekly streaming back. I'll try my best. Like I said, I am near possibly a schedule change for my IRL career to where I would have Saturdays back. So, but yeah, folks, any questions at all, feel free. Give me about the fights that just happened tonight, anime, sports, the NBA playoffs, whatever you want to ask, feel free to ask, folks. If you haven't already, by the way, make sure to hit the like button. It's really appreciated. Any questions at all, please feel free. Any questions at all here? Any questions at all, folks? A lot of good questions so far, though, pre-established. By the way, if you want your questions asked ahead of time, join my Discord or whatever, or in the comment section or wherever, just drop a question. I'll get to it. Definitely get to it. Any questions at all, folks? See if there's any other questions that were asked. While you guys do that, let's see here. A second, folks. I believe there was another question that I missed. All right, so what you guys ask? There's another one I saw here. Do you think that Itachi could have potentially turned Sasuke into a nihilist? I know Obito was a nihilist, but what if Sasuke was? So Sasuke, wait a second, folks. Keep fucking yawning. Sorry about that. So Sasuke wasn't a nihilist. He never was. Sasuke, especially once he learned about the truth about Itachi, he became, what's the right word? A tyrant. He became hyper violent. He became hyper pessimistic, hyper tribal, however you want to term it. But nihilistic, I wouldn't uh, label him as, because being a nihilist means nothing matters. Nothing matters, and there really is no reason to do anything or even continue on. And I don't think Sasuke had that mentality. He had a very high drive when it came to destroying those who wronged his brother, right? So he certainly wasn't a nihilist. He was a very resentful and vengeful person, right? So, yeah, nihilist wouldn't be the right term, in my opinion. Obito, yes, though. I do believe he was a nihilist. It's a good question, though. Nihilism is an interesting ideology. Very interesting, and Obito certainly was a nihilist. In a way, Madara was as well, right? Because their whole ideology was with this never-ending cycle of yin and yang, so to speak, war and love and war. Nothing really matters because nothing ever changes, right? And that's why they had the Project Infinite Tsukunome, right? Because they didn't see the point in continuing on in the reality that they were currently in, right? Because to them, it was never ending. It was cyclical in nature, and it
Yeah.
could never be changed. So, but yeah, Sasuke wasn't a nihilist. He was more so a tyrant after he
Sasuke
found out.
Sasuke always had a reasoning for his actions. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not saying like his actions were unjust, or whatever. Like, but it's not like he never just did it for no fucking reason at all. Like
yeah, he always had a reason.
he always had, yeah, he always had a reason, and it was normally a very extremely understandable reason. Like any sensible, technically, if I'm really being honest, any like typical person normally would respond the way he responded normally, like 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah,
a lot of people are emotional on those certain type of concepts and are not able to have strong, will power on that, or just to let things go, right?
Yeah.
Or to even like focus on the concept of redemption, forgiveness, etc. So like at the end of the day, like like the first thing Sasuke had going on was all about with his brother, like everything that happened with his family. Like he's like, okay, yeah, you killed everybody I love, our family, our whole clan, whatever. Okay, bet. I want vengeance, right? I want to kill you. I
Yeah.
want to avenge our family, whatever. That's completely understandable. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's morally like, you know, the right choice of what you should do, but it's very understandable and what typically anyone would normally want to do, right?
Yeah.
So again, like there's that, and the second thing when he finds out the truth, the dark truth of that the Leaf Village is the one that was involved this whole time, etc., and the one that pushed Itachi to that corner to begin with, and the whole nine, like that changes things on like a really extremely deep level. It gets you thinking like who is innocent at that point, right? Like what the fuck? Like everybody got blood in their hands, basically.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
and at that point, Sasuke felt like he just had nothing to lose at that point. He's like, you know what? Everybody's dirty, and everybody fucked up. At this point, I'm just gonna do what I want and what makes me feel better. That's what they did, right? So
Yeah.
I guess
Exactly.
I can do it too. So
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, like people, I don't know, like that's all I'm saying. Like again, I'm not trying to excuse, but it's like you got to see it from that lens. Like Sasuke did basically what anyone else did throughout the entirety of fucking Naruto. They all just had their own reasons or different purposes and motivations.
Exactly. They had all their
So,
own reasonings, their own
well,
motivations, many conflicting
well,
interests, and Sasuke
like it's
just
not like
happened.
Orochimaru or Danzo who are just doing shit to do shit because they're just fucking like cynical and crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or just extremely paranoid or whatever.
Yeah. So
So
Orochimaru. Yeah. Those type of individuals are interesting. Like Orochimaru had this, sup- I guess, superiority complex. He wanted to be the ultimate being. He wanted to live
yeah,
forever, know all jutsu, use all jutsu. And it was a very interesting ideology. Dante was similar in a sense. He wanted to feel like he was in control. Right? He wanted to feel like he was
yeah.
loyal to Konoha. Don't get me wrong, but he wanted to be in control of Konoha and run it the way he wanted it
Yeah,
to. He wanted to be
he had a
ran.
control fixation. Like
Yeah,
it was all about control. That was like really where he fucked up for the most part. And then he was just an extremist. Like he would literally do anything at whatever he was required to do, no matter how heartless or cold or dark it was, to protect the hidden leaf and
yeah,
prioritize. And like it's condemnable, like or it's like it's I guess like you could fuck with it to a degree, but it's like at what point or what line are we not crossing, right? Like it's like,
right.
and he was just a really dark motherfucker, like, um, so I don't know, like it's interesting, but like there's very clear cut and dry characters that if anything, those are the ones you could really that deserve more of a harsh judgment or really don't have, any defense whatsoever. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
Orochimaru. I'm sorry. Like Orochimaru, he went through a good amount of trauma and shit, but that wasn't his sole reason for what he was doing. Like he went through the things he went through, and then just out of nowhere, his goal was this. You know what? I just want to be as powerful as I can. Like
yeah,
he went from
exactly.
like have his parents dying or some shit. I forgot what the lore was with that, but something bad happening with his parents. Then seeing all these bad things happen, like Tsunade and all these other people, and seeing how like fragile humanity is and whatever, and like the dark truths of it. And he sees all that shit, and then just eventually comes to a conclusion, like, you know what? I just want to learn all jutsus and just become as powerful as I can without any sense of morality, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he basically was Donzo, but he was applying that for his own selfish desires. Like he would do whatever it took, no matter how dark it was, to just become so powerful, right?
yeah, exactly.
While Donzo, at least he did it, for Konoha, right? For the people like the elders, the children, the woman, etc. The whole nine, right? So Donzo again, like he's a little bit more feasible, or more, I guess, accepting in certain regards. While Orochimaru, like there was just that's just unacceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like what the fuck?
Orochimaru he had this strange like metamorphosis as he grew up. When he was very young, with the three Sanin before they were the three Sanin, he seemed more admirable. He seemed more empathetic, and then he started to grow, and he had like this weird evolution of like sociopathic tendencies, especially like I think it was either Jiraiya or Tsunade. They were like injured and they're in a cave. Like let's just leave him, or let's just kill him. put them out of their misery. Like no remorse, no second thoughts. Like he started to become more sociopathic, and then he developed into kind of a not psychopath, but more of a sadist. Like he almost enjoyed inflicting pain on those that got in his way. Using those to get what he wants. Almost,
Yeah, very prideful, very egotistical, and like
yeah,
unenjoying like people's L's or him just being
yeah,
superior. He had like a superiority complex,
yeah,
basically. You
exactly.
know.
And it developed as he grew older and older. And what broke the camel's back was getting caught by Hiruzen, running off, beating, fighting Jiraiya, and it's implied that he beat him or something, or at least did enough to get away. This is very strange. His evolution. Danzo, he was just a very hard-headed, like cutthroat to get ahead type of guy. Him being in the shadows, trying to undermine Hiruzen's authority. All basically the entire time they were, together in this sort of like governmental dynamic, and him wanting to do things his way. He thought no other way was correct. He's willing to take lives, like when he gave fucking Itachi the ultimatum. I mean, that was the ultimate cutthroat action he ever probably did in his career.
Itachi, the Hidden Rain Village with the
Hidden
Akatsuki,
Rain,
all
yeah,
Danzo. Literally, I kid you not. If it wasn't Orochimaru, it was Danzo for all the reasons why everything went to shit.
exactly. Yeah,
Everything, the entire story and narrative of Naruto. If it wasn't Danzo Orochimaru, or if it wasn't one or the other, it was always something to do with them of why everything went to shit and was really dark and fucked. And if it wasn't those two, then it was because of Madara, right? But
yeah,
Madara, we didn't know at the time. But if it wasn't Madara, it was always Danzo Orochimaru. So like the craziest thing is like people are real quick to get on like Itachi's case or all these motherfuckers are open or whatever. When at the end of the day, the true villains, really, if you really analyze it, was Orochimaru and Danzo, and then Madara to certain margins and degrees. Like at
right.
least his cause and was very, understandable.
Yeah,
While Danzo and Orochimaru, it was just pure selfish ambitions,
yeah,
So
it's purely selfish, like very selfish. The nature of their goals is very selfish in nature. Yeah, those are some interesting. The ideologies is why Naruto is so polarizing to the fandom, to the anime masses, I guess, the anime fandom masses. Just all the different ideologies that we would see, all the different characters we'd see, even some of the villains being almost understood. Like Madara or Pain, for example. Those being almost agreed
I
upon by
will
some people.
I will say
So
this though, Jay. I feel like the only character that I do give a little bit more of judgment on, or like not that much leeway as compared to everybody else, was Obito. And
right,
because
yeah,
at the end of the day, like I'm sorry, but it's not like Sasuke where Sasuke literally saw everybody die, his whole clan, you know what I mean? All that happens to Obito is he just sees fucking Rin get killed, a girl that he just had feelings for, right?
right,
Whether that was infatuation or true love, regardless. What I mean? That's really his only loss element, right?
yeah,
And that's what drives you to fucking madness, and to do all the. That was a little. I don't know about that one. Like I could get the concept of someone losing someone, right, that they really care for, and that could just make them snap. Like I understand that, but to the degree that Obito went, you know what I mean? Like normally when that happens, people were directed based upon who was the cause of their pain, right?
right, yeah,
He basically was like, you know what? Even though it was just this village or whatever, nah, fuck that. I'm just gonna direct all my pain, whatever, blah, you name it, in the whole motherfucking world. And I'm set in stone on doing this whole infinite Tsukiyomi with the whole Madara shit that told him about, whatever. Like he just took it to a whole other fucking level and point, and he could have just went about it in so many ways, but he just didn't give a fuck. He was dark as shit, bro.
yeah. No,
Like
he
that's what I'm
honestly
saying,
he lacked the strength
Um,
of character to overcome. I mean, obviously Madara's manipulative influence probably had something to
yeah,
do with that.
manipulative,
When he was a
yeah.
child, or I guess
And he is
teenager
a
child.
kid, and he
Yeah,
is a kid. Yeah, he is a
he was a
kid.
kid.
But
It was the 180 is pretty drastic. Just to see. I mean,
like bro, like think of it this way: Kakashi had all the reason to be a villain.
yeah,
Itachi had all the reason to be a villain.
Itachi.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, but Obito, like it's not. Like that's all I'm getting at. Like if we're
yeah,
really analyzing and really seeing the characters that had all the reason in the world to really go that route, it's people like Sasuke, Kakashi, Itachi, Naruto as well as a prime example. The list goes on and on, right? You know what I mean? Like, so it's like that's why, like, I don't know. Obito is just always a weird case for me,
Yeah,
and on top, it was because of how he went about it too. Like I'm not saying some of the things that he did was not understandable, but for the most part, there's a lot of fun. Like I'm sorry, him going to the Leaf Village and doing what he did in Minato, that's crazy.
that's
Like
insane.
he
His
did
own
that just like
sensei.
when no
Yeah,
hesitation. Yeah, his own sensei to Kushina, who is basically like a mother to him. Like if you know the
exactly.
lore and the narrative and seeing everything that's happened with them, like I'm sorry, when no hesitation, no remorse, just cold as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, and the only time you see like him be like have some hesitation or be emotional on it was like when you see like the flashbacks again and when he's in the war arc, where it shows like his actual thought process and what he was feeling before he does it. And like we get to see a moment where he's like standing on the like on some high ground or some shit, right? And then
Right.
he's like thinking, like he's like, should I do it? And he's like, yeah, fuck it. And then he just yells like none of it matters anymore. That's basically all he said. He just yells like none of it matters anymore. And at that point, he just like cut his fucking ties with everybody. So like
Yeah,
I'm not saying he didn't at all to some regard think about it, whatever, but it's the fact that he could come to that decision that quick. You know what I mean? And then do what
yeah,
he did. Like, bro, he tried to destroy his home, kill Minato, Kushina, kill her. Like he did all this crazy ass shit. Like,
yeah. He
so I don't know, bro.
he
Like even
really.
Kakashi was there. Like Kakashi
Yeah,
was there. And he has a soft spot for him. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Because let's be real, he could have took his eye back any fucking day, but he never did. So obviously he's, you know what I mean? Like he has feelings still for Kakashi. And then two, he could have killed Kakashi at so many points, yet he never does. Like, so it's like we obviously know Kakashi is like another soft area for him because he truly did care for Rin and Kakashi a lot, right? Kakashi was the brother element while Rin was his lover element. So
yeah,
at the end of the day, like it's just how like far he fell, which is really weird to me. That's all I'm getting at. Like,
yeah,
for like, I'll give another example. Like Anakin in Star Wars, that was very understandable. You know what I mean?
yeah,
For like why he was falling or what he was doing. He was doing it because he was put in a position to where like it was either I let Padme die because I just don't have the knowledge and power to save her, or I turn to evil and become something I don't want to be, but if I'm able to save her, at least I get to save the woman I love, right? At least
yeah.
he has some sole basis, for all the fuck shit he's doing. You know what I mean? While
Right. Yeah.
Obito, it's like, oh, I lost somebody, therefore, all right, now everybody just gets to have a really bad fucking day. Like,
Exactly. It's
so
like
I don't know, bro.
it took one bad day
Yeah.
for him. One bad day, and it's like
Yeah.
he this like nihilistic approach we hear him, have in his own head. It's almost him trying to justify what he's doing. That's why
Yeah.
Naruto had such an effect on him when he first met him, and he kind of like saw a parallel of what he once was, because deep down he knows what he's doing is fucked up, but he's trying to justify it with
Yeah.
this nihilistic bullshit that honestly I don't think even he believed. I think he was just using
No,
that
he did it.
to
Yeah.
justify it,
That's why
and
he
that's
switched up. That's why
yeah,
he fucking
exactly.
switched up. He
Yeah,
was he never really believed, and that was never what he wanted to do. But it was just because of his pain and his grief and anger
he
and
embraced
his
it basically.
disappointment in the shinobi world. Like, yeah, he
Yeah.
just really let that darkness control. Like honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm just gonna say it. You guys aren't gonna like it, but Obito was a bitch. I'm sorry.
Facts. Yeah,
That's all it
facts.
was. At the end of the day, he
Yeah.
was a bitch. Like he took the easy route. He let his emotions get the best of him. And all I'm saying, the reason why I'm saying he's a bitch is because he had people still that cared about him. He still had Kakashi. He still had Minato. He still had a whole ass village that would have fucked with him and rejoiceful that he was even alive to begin with. Like
Exactly.
he still had so many things that he could have worked with to accomplish the dream that he wanted, right? He didn't
Right.
necessarily have to go the really dark path that he thought was necessary for the infinite, whatever, blah. Like it just doesn't make sense. That's what I'm getting. Like again, if it was Sasuke, I could definitely see it, right? Him just falling that low and going to it, right?
Yeah.
After learning the truth with Itachi and everything he lost. If it was Itachi, I could see it. If it's Kakashi, I could see it. But with Obito, I just can't. He loses that one thing, and that's it.
Yeah. He
So
just
and he
lacked
has
his.
people that are still there. Like
Yeah.
Sasuke had nothing except for
No
Naruto.
one. Yeah.
Sasuke had
Besides
literally
Naruto.
nothing except for
Yeah.
Naruto. Kakashi had nobody. Okay, all the people he really loved that was close, gone.
Gone.
And all he had left was just like people that consider him a friend, right, and care for him that, but not like his actual close circle or family, right? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he had nobody yet, still doing what he needs to do. You know what I mean? Like again, like Itachi. nobody, like literally nobody, the whole
Nothing.
world against him, thinking he's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So again, like, I'm sorry, but Obito's a bitch. I mean, like, if anything, Itachi is a prime example of resilience,
Yep.
self-control, and just like insane willpower and conviction.
It's
You know what I
insane.
mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact that he never turned evil, you know what I mean, or like at least went to the point like to play the victim card, basically, like, you know, oh, this is so, you know, it's so bad. I mean, like, now I'm just gonna take it out on everybody, right? You know, like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying, like, that's why I always have the most respect for Kakashi and Itachi,
Hey,
because
facts.
they
Facts.
really, really fought their demons and handled their shit. When, if anything, they had all the reason to say "fuck you, world." You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. The most
that's all I'm
probably.
getting at, man. You know,
Exactly. No, I agree
yeah,
completely. What's going on, little gremlin? By the
yeah.
way, folks, we'll go a little longer. We'll go longer if we see more questions pop up. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions at all, anime, whatever. If not, we'll go, a few more minutes. But I'm gonna try to, reignite the consistency and the regularly scheduled streams again, like we used to in the day back in the day. I'm finding that time, implementing more discipline into my own routine, even more than I already have for you guys, because I genuinely enjoy doing this. So we'll try to get back to that. But yeah, we want to bring
Yes,
back
sir.
the old times and even better, as far as streams are concerned, content is concerned. The train never stops. It never has. I definitely want to continue. What do you think about Holo Life scaling? Not familiar with that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
I don't know what that is. But yeah, going
Sorry.
back. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, going back to the ideologies and the conviction, Obito just lacked it. He lacked it.
Yeah.
He had Madara in his ear. He just lacked the strength of character to overcome hard
Like
times. That's
Jay,
what it
Danzo
was.
tried to do the same shit to Kakashi. He
Yeah, he
tried to
failed.
manipulate him, and he's also a very like Orochimaru and Danzo and Madara are like one of the peak manipulators in Naruto,
Yeah,
man,
very
for villains. You know what I
influential.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
like, and Kakashi didn't fall for that shit. Like he, thought for himself, try to like analyze everything as a whole, yada yada, went from there. You know, like,
yeah.
so again,
It,
it's
it
really hard to excuse Obito. You know,
yeah,
like,
to excuse what he's done, the flack that he does get, it's definitely deserved, at least to an extent, because he just lacked the strength of character to overcome what he had to deal with. It's not like he was the only one. Like we said, Itachi, Kakashi, all these guys went through what they went through, and they still came out honorable men. They came out good people. And
bro, if Obito followed the same footsteps of Minato or Kakashi, Itachi, whatever, blah, blah, these really strong-willed, self-controlled conviction individuals, if he, even Naruto's another
yeah,
prime example of all the shit he went through, and he never decided to be evil. Like,
yeah,
what they call, like, if he really followed and stayed on that path of light, bro, just so many things would have been changed in the Naruto story. Like all the bad shit would have never happened. I mean, like there's so much shit. It would have been so much better, bro, in so many ways. Like imagine like Akashi and Obito working as a team, with their shit, or better yet, like Obito just gets his Sharingan back, right? Because it's technically his.
right,
Like, and
yeah,
then now you have like a fucking dual MS Obito. Like, there's just so much shit that could have been crazy as a what if scenario, and it would have been great. It would have been incredible, dude. Like,
yeah. It would have been,
I feel like it would have went different in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? I
yeah.
really do.
And it all just
And
came down to
and it,
Obito. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, it all connects to Obito at the end of the day, and that's what's insane. Like it was a negative domino effect because of Obito. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And the reason why is because like if you guys think about it, like if Obito like, let's say after the whole rent thing, you know what I mean, and he just waited until the Leaf Anbu got there, and then like and he went in with them, or he just showed up to the village instead of just like going full Madara mode, right? He just goes to the village, and tries to process everything, and is now there with Kakashi, whatever. If he just went that route, okay, like the Nine Tails incident would never happen. That would have never
yeah.
happened. The Uchiha being under
The
suspicion for it and all
Chiha,
that,
yeah,
and like the like all of that shit, none of that would have happened. The Uchiha would have never been massacred. Everything would have been okay,
yeah.
literally.
The
I mean, and the
Akatsuki's
only
like
thing,
foundation, everything.
yeah, like the Akatsuki being built, that would have never fucking happened. Like, well, hang on, let me take that back. Fucking with the whole thing with Nagato, um, what's it called? Because I do know Obito like he was stopping Nagato's like Akatsuki group from helping them. But let's be real, I'm sorry, but his fodder ass Akatsuki group that no names are not doing nothing to
I'll do
Hanzo
nothing.
or
Oh hell no.
Donzo, and they
Yeah.
like I'm sorry, the same it would have the same shit would have played out. You know, like
Yeah.
that would have still been the same conclusion. You know what I mean? So that's why like it's not really doesn't matter with Obito and that. Like at the end of the day, everything that happens to Nagato, that would have still happened. But okay, now all you have is just, Nagato and the Akatsuki, right? And in all honesty, that could go in many directions. Like that's where it gets really vague, and we don't really know if all the planning mainly came from Obito, or if it was a
Yeah.
mix between the two, or if it was mainly Nagato. And I'm gonna be honest, I think
Right.
my money was more than likely on Obito making the plans and how to orchestrate what to do
Yeah.
with the Akatsuki, and then Nagato just did that. And then Nagato obviously just had his own plans for once they had all the tail beasts, while Obito had his own plans, right?
Yeah.
And that was the only conflicting nature that they had, you know. So no matter what, like that would have still been a thing, but it would have been nowhere near as bad as it was. And with everyone still around, like Minato, Shisui, like all these motherfuckers that still would have been around, what the fuck is Nagato gonna do?
No,
You know what
killers
I mean?
everywhere. Yeah, so many
Like, yeah,
killers.
yeah, yeah, there's so many
Uh,
badasses at that point in the hidden leaf. Nagato ain't doing shit to like
yeah.
you're talking about a Minato that's gonna even be stronger than when he was
Prime. Yeah.
before the yeah. Like we'll get a prime Minato basically. Like
Yeah.
Minato would be Okage, you know what I mean? Like that would happen. Like again, like there's just so many things. Like Shisui would be around as well. Like
He would chase
I'm
Prime.
sorry, but
Yeah.
like what the fuck is Nagato doing against a prime Itachi, a prime Shisui, a prime Minato? You know what I mean? Like a Naruto that's being trained by his father
He's
now
getting
and
he's getting
shit. Like
washed. Yeah, he's getting washed.
yeah, like a
Right.
Sasuke that's being trained by Shisui and Itachi. Like there's just so much shit. You know what I mean? Like Hiruzen would still be alive because he won't die by Orochimaru. Like if
Yeah.
Orochimaru, I don't even think
Minato would take
Orochimaru
his ass
tried
out.
that fuck shit. Yeah, yeah, like
Minato ain't
like bro,
letting him
like
go. He ain't letting him leave. He's killing him.
like you saw what Itachi did to Orochimaru. Imagine Minato, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if anything, I don't even think Orochimaru has the balls to attempt what he did
Hell
because
no.
he would have to fight Itachi, Minato, all these crazy motherfuckers. He's not doing that. I'm sorry. Orochimaru, he can be dumb, but he's not dumb like that. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
is smart.
Smart enough not to try
Like
that.
yeah, like not enough to try that. And bro, like he was fucking hiding from the Akatsuki in all the villages and Anbus for years, and no one could ever
Yeah.
find him. You know,
Yeah.
like so it's like again, like Orochimaru is not stupid. I mean, so like again, like there's just so much shit that wouldn't have happened, and the Leaf would be at like the max amount of power they could possibly have, excluding Kakashi's father. That's the only thing that
Yeah, the
still
only
will
one.
happen, right? But other than
Exactly.
that, like you know what I mean? Like the Leaf is literally unstoppable. So like again, like Obito is literally the foundation of everything just going to shit. You know what I mean?
Literally.
And it's like and it's really bad because he could have easily came back to he had all the reasons to come back, right? You know,
Yeah.
like so again, like that's why I can't, I can't let that slide on Obito, man.
Nah,
I mean, I
yeah.
really can't,
He caused so much
but
destruction just because of his weak character, his weak conviction.
yeah.
So it's insane.
Like,
Are we
like who
talking?
knows? Maybe that might be a video of itself that I might eventually do. I have to really think and see how to structure it and whatnot. But overall, like you might think it's a hot take, but really, if you really analyze it at its core, it's not. It's dead ass like the truth. Like I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but Obito did not have all the reasons to go to that much of a dark path. He
e-
did not, dude.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Are we talking about the
but,
best Naruto characters? Basically, the best, the strongest convictions, the most admirable.
yeah,
Yeah.
strongest convictions, like whether if
Uh,
Obito was like actually, if it really was acceptable or reasonable for what he did, and again, like the only understandable or reasonable thing, and we can all come to terms and agree with is like his reaction and what he did after seeing Rin die and him killing all those people. That's
yeah.
fine, right? Like I can get it, whatever. I'm not condoning, revenge genocide or whatever, but again, it's understandable, right? It's reasonable, whatever. And so on and so forth. And there's that, right? And then you have even the point where, let's say if he took it up a notch, like and pulled a Sasuke, where he's like, you know what? I really want to kill the fucking hidden mist village now, right?
Yeah.
I
Facts.
want to fuck them up, or go to war. Again, that's another, understandable, whatever. But that's not what happens. Like instead, it's like, okay, Rin died, fuck the world now. And I'm gonna now attack the people that I care and love the most. Okay, just as much as I love Rin, I know he probably loved Rin the most because in the intimate nature, but you know what I'm saying? Like Minato was like a father to him. Kushina was like a mother to him. Kakashi was like a brother. You know what I mean? Like the list goes on and on. Like he literally just says fuck everybody and just somehow just again it doesn't make sense, bro. Like I
Yeah,
just
facts.
like
It's
I could see it for other characters for Naruto to get that low, but not for Obito. It just like he had the resources, he had the way, to deal with it and get around it and go from there. He didn't have to do what he did. So
yeah, exactly. Naruto or Rock Lee had the strongest conviction. Yeah, that's fair. They definitely had strong convictions, you know. Rock Lee just with his willpower to become relevant, to become respected, to become powerful, you know, become strong as a shinobi.
yeah,
Naruto just his entire fucking existence was shit from the beginning, and he just
yeah,
rose to the occasion. Um, and Minato just, you know, before his death, that's what he banked on. He's like, you know what, my son, he's gonna have this fucking demon in him. Everyone's gonna fucking hate
yeah.
him. He's not gonna have me or his mother, but he'll still make it. I believe
Yeah.
it, you know, and he did it. He fucking made it. So yeah, Rock Lee, Naruto, Kakashi, guys like that have the strongest convictions.
And I'll say, was Naruto perfect? No,
No, definitely
because
not.
like
Yeah,
he does admit in the narrative like there was a point where he could have been just like Sasuke, where the roles could have been reversed. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, and he could have been doing the whole revenge route and blah blah. And in all honesty, that was more than likely prevented and didn't happen because of Iruka. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for
yeah.
Iruka, he probably would have just left the village and just went on a whole, who knows what, right? And maybe
Nine
even teamed up with
tails.
the Akatsuki
Yeah,
or who knows what, right? You know what I mean? Yeah, like things could have just went haywire from there. Naruto acknowledges that several times, and et cetera, et cetera. And better yet, Naruto even like acknowledges that again when he's having his whole Gaara fight. Like he realized, damn, I could have been just like this dude. He had nobody, but I had people to be there for me when I was in the darkness.
yeah,
So again, like, but and it's funny that we're talking about Naruto because this goes back to Obito. It's like Obito had people that would still be there for him and to help him through the darkness, but yet he
exactly.
didn't go to it. He was just a bitch. Naruto was like, nah, I got people that love and care for me. Yeah, all this shit fucking sucks. It's horrible, but I'm gonna rely on them. I'm gonna shoulder their love and their support and positivity, whatever, blah blah, and embrace that and do what I need to do, right? Do my business and become strong and acknowledge, etc. Like again, like that's why Naruto, he's not a bitch, right? He earned his shit. Like he fucking did what he had to do. Obito was a bitch,
Yeah,
like I
exactly.
don't know what to tell
Yeah,
you, man. You
just
know?
weak character.
So
I don't think anyone in Naruto was perfect, but Naruto was hyper aware of that. Yeah, no one was
yeah,
perfect. No one
yeah,
was
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, no,
Um,
nobody. Like, if anything, the closest to perfect was Kakashi.
yeah,
The
K-
closest, you know what I mean?
it'd be like
What's it called?
Kakashi, Sage of
With
Six Paths
all
or
the
something. Yeah,
yeah, Sage of Six Paths, Kakashi, Itachi too. Like the only reason
Itachi,
why I don't
Guy,
immediately the only reason why I don't immediately jump to Itachi because it is arguable whether or not if for what he did was too extreme and that could have been whatever blah blah. But
prevented. Yeah,
at the end of yeah, but at the end of the day, Itachi was still a good person no matter what. Like that never
yeah,
changed. He was always a good person. He never went evil. He never betrayed Konoha. He always stuck to his conviction. Always tried to do the right thing, no matter how unfair things were, how unjust things were, or how dark the world was. He always tried to do the right thing or be a good person, right? As best as he possibly could. So that's why, like, again, Tachi, he's definitely a candidate, but I can understand if you want to remove him because of what he did. But if we remove Itachi, Kakashi, I think is the next best example, besides the
yeah,
Sage of Six Paths. Like, that dude lost everything and could have had all the reason to go to the dark side, but yet still did what he had to do, you know?
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, like the
so,
most the
yeah.
most admirable characters. There's Guy, Kakashi, Itachi, Sage of Six Paths for obvious reasons. Naruto.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one was perfect, and I think that's what makes Naruto as
Nobody.
the narrative special. There's
Yeah.
relatability. There's like humanity there.
Yeah.
There's no character in the narrative that's like fucking Superman, the Superman type character where you can do no wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Or no matter what you go through, like I'll always do the right thing. I mean, like it's like
yeah,
no, you know.
like the Superman character. Or, I mean, even there's good comics of Superman where he makes mistakes, but in general,
Yeah,
like he's like the perfect fucking being, like godlike being that just never fucks up. You know,
yeah,
That's what makes Naruto so
or always
special.
enduring, or always doing the right thing. You know, yeah.
Yeah, or like the Goku character. Like, be honest, when does he ever fuck up? Like, at least morally,
Yeah,
never.
Goku's always doing the right. Yeah, yeah.
He
Like,
never
bro,
fucks
he's
up.
pure of heart.
Pure
I've been
hearted.
watching Dragon Ball recently.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, he's just an extremely good-hearted person. Never
very,
ever
very pure
has
hearted.
any selfish desires. Not a pervert. Nothing. Just always trying to
Nothing.
do the
Yeah.
right thing. Always. You
Yeah,
know.
like the Superman Goku
So
character. They're very admirable, but they're not relatable. Because humans are,
yeah, no.
we're all
Humans are
inherently flawed.
fragile. Everybody, yeah, everybody's different. Not everybody is as strong. Every loss is different to everybody. Grief is different to everybody. You know, like that. That's what makes Naruto really special. And again, like Jay said, relatable. Like, and that's why I don't have a problem with like all the characters or whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's so realistic. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a character that's like Sasuke, right, and does what he does in the real
Yeah,
life. You know, you're gonna have a character that's like Naruto and is able just to endure and do what he has to do. You're gonna have a character that's like Kakashi, except you know what I mean. Like, there's a lot of relatability. You know what I
a
mean?
lot of relatability.
Now Obito, that is not really relatable. Like that, I feel like is when we're kind of getting to a territory where it's like,
He's a
like is
criminal.
there like
Yeah,
yeah, is there like rare occurrences where like somebody could lose someone and then they just completely snap and start doing heinous shit? Sure, that is a thing in real life, you know, but
yeah,
at the same time with Obito, like that was over a girl he just had feelings, and mind you, she didn't even reciprocate those fucking feelings. You know, it wasn't like they're even together either. You know,
yeah.
so like in the real world, for someone to really snap or break like that, they normally have to lose like their lover or their mom or like someone really fucking close, right? You know what I mean? That had a lot of value to them, or their kid. You know what I mean? Things like that. Obito snapped and lost his shit over a girl he had feelings for. You know,
Yeah, essentially.
so that again, like that's why it's at least in my, you know, for me, like that's why I judge it a lot more harshly or a lot more blunt with, and or better yet, just not that realistic or really relatable either, you know. Um, so but, you know,
Yeah.
that's just what you got with it, but you know,
Yes.
so you know,
Superman has depth sometimes. Oh yeah, like I said, yeah, there's comics where there's relatability as far as his actions. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
If anything, I think those are the best fucking comics of
They
Superman. Like
are.
it's not
Yeah,
boring,
they
right?
are.
You know,
Yeah,
it actually has some writing, it has something that's different, a switch up, it's unique, or shit's
yeah.
actually hitting the fan now, and now you're really getting some you know, some oh shit moments with Superman. Like, if anything, I think those are the best comics of Superman. You know,
Injustice. Yeah,
not the stereotypical where he's always just, you know, does the right thing and you know, saves the day and blah, blah, you know, like it's
yeah,
boring, bro. You know?
yeah. It does get
So
boring. There is
well,
no.
why do you think Batman's always number one in DC?
Yeah,
Because he has the most insane philosophy, morality, fucking writing and stories. And he,
relatability.
as a character, is not perfect. And he's either great and does the right thing, or he does it and is relatable and does what any other person probably would do, right? You
Yeah,
know?
his
So,
his like
yeah.
conviction is why he's respected. It's not even like that he's godlike or that he's fucking. It's his ability to overcome
A fucking
and
normal dude, bro. That too. He
yeah.
has more to lose, could die easily, you
Could
know?
die. His
So,
trials are what make someone admirable. Naruto,
yeah.
Luffy, Batman, all the great
It's funny.
characters in
It's
fiction.
funny that you say that, Jay, because that was one of Batman's insults and diss to Clark. It was a quote where
Yeah,
he's like no nobody. I forgot how the quote is, but it's fucking hilarious what he said to him. But he's like, why the fuck would anybody respect you, Clark? Like, I mean, like you can't die, you can't get hurt, whatever, blah blah yada yada. While real heroes like me, you know, or Marines, whatever, blah the whole night, whatever, blah. We have everything to lose. We can
that's
die,
facts
get
though.
injured, whatever, blah.
Yeah,
You know, you're a coward. We're not. We're brave. We're actual men. You're not a man. You know, like,
yeah,
and
that's facts though.
it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah, like,
It's like he
so
doesn't have a reason to worry. He has no worries basically because he can't die, can't fucking be scratched. The world he walks in is like cardboard to him. Like it's nothing. Batman's right. I mean, that doesn't really make you a hero. It just makes you, physically powerful. So he's
yeah. So
definitely right about
I
that.
found one of the quotes. So he says this. He's like, "You're not brave. Men are brave. You say that you want to help people, but you can't feel their pain, their mortality. It's time you learn what it means to be a man." And then that's when it has the whole kryptonite shit and the whole nine. You
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah, I remember that
So
quote. He's
yeah,
right though. He's
yeah.
right. Yeah. How can you relate to anyone when you can't feel their pain? I mean, he's right. I mean, you're fucking you're
You're
naive to it.
God.
Yeah, you're God. You're naive to it. You're
Yeah.
not a man. Men are the heroes, you know, and that's a very good quote. I mean, he's right, and I think Clark. That's the reason why Clark respects Bruce so much. I think he's told Bruce before, like, dude, it's not even the demons you fight outside; it's the ones that you fight in the inside every day. That's why I respect you more than anyone else. You know, yeah,
Huh.
that's what really makes the masses admire someone is their heart, I guess you could say. You know, their conviction. Talent always goes a long way, sure. You're just good at stuff, but what you can overcome really, you know, makes you special. Even in the fucking real world, athletes, businessmen, fucking whatever, you know, it's crazy. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, folks, about 5 more minutes. We'll go for about 5 more minutes. It's a shorter one, but hey, we'll try to make the consistency come back. Definitely
Oh,
try my
yeah,
best.
and there's another thing he said, Batman. Superman's not brave. You can't be brave if you're indestructible. It's everyday people like you and me that are brave, knowing we could easily be defeated or killed, but still continue forward. You know?
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
there's
uh,
risk every time with Batman. With Superman, there's no risk. There's nothing to put on the line. You know, that's what makes a
eh,
hero.
eh, that reminds me of Jay. Like, remember that other line where he's like, the only day you had respect or people actually cared was when after Doomsday. Why? Because
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
He actually
Like,
died this time. Yeah.
yeah.
It's actual
He's like
risk.
that's the only day you actually inspired or people actually had respect and for you whatever blah blah because you actually had something to lose and actually sacrificed for the people.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. And
so
that's what makes humans admire like us admire people, you know, is their resilience to and their willingness to, you know, sacrifice. I mean, sacrifice itself is a very admirable thing to do. Yeah, so sacrifice requires risk. But yeah, when you're fucking indestructible, there is no risk. There's really no sacrifice there. You know, you're not. There's no risk to you doing that. Fucking taking a
yeah.
bullet or fucking stopping a nuclear bomb. It doesn't do shit to you. You know, there's
And
no.
mind you, we're not taking away from Superman either. Like we're not trying to say like, oh, he does, he's not a good like, or he doesn't do all these great things, whatever. We're not saying any of that. Like there's tons of credit to give to Superman,
Yeah, of
but at the
course.
end of
Yeah.
the day, there are harsh like reality elements of it to where Superman just he's not within these certain ballparks of realization. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
to what is really deemed to respect. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth, or acknowledge. Or appreciate. That's all we're
Yeah.
getting at. It's just it's
Exactly.
it's different, like
No
so.
relatability. There's no realism. No relatability.
Yeah,
Basically. And no, that's why he's more of an idealistic symbol. You know, idealistic
yeah,
symbol of strength
just
and
hope.
hope.
Yeah,
You know, that's really what he is. He's hope. And I mean, even you know, the S on his chest is hope in Kryptonian. So I mean, um, indestructibility in itself doesn't make anyone ineligible for courage. It just means your courage isn't testable. That's true,
yeah.
but Superman is courageous. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
in comparison to someone that could lose his life at any moment, you know, it's not comparable. You know, it's not similar. In general,
No facts.
there's just no way to verify the supposed courage.
Uh, uh,
Yeah, but that doesn't negate that. You know, from the masses' perspective, that isn't as respected as someone that could lose his life at any
that
moment.
has
That's the
everything to lose, that can
yeah,
get injured, that can be wounded, like that, can fail, right? You know what I mean? Can
yeah,
fucking cannot be able to save everybody, like, while fighting and like again, like you have to endure and go through way, way more compared to Superman. While Superman, again, he's a god. He has super speed, like he can't be hurt, he can do it, he can do everything perfect. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
so it's like how are you to say, like that's all we're getting at. Like it's just
yeah,
not the same. Like here's another quote too. This is what Batman. He's like, I bet your parents taught you that you mean something, that you're here for a reason. My parents taught me a different lesson, dying in the gutter for no reason at all. They taught me the world only makes sense when you force it to.
yeah.
Okay? That's a real fucking quote. You know
That's
what I mean?
real.
Because
Uh,
Superman, he just had everything, right? You know what I mean? Like he's there, it's easy mode, whatever, blah, blah. While Batman, he had to work for all his shit. You know what I mean? Like the
yeah,
world only makes sense when you force it to. Like that's real
yeah.
shit.
Exactly. It's almost like a real world analogy. What's going on, Kedrick? Sorry, brother. A real world analogy. Think about it like this. This is a real world analogy. I think that it applies to this. You have a guy that's a billionaire that was born into this fortune, compared to someone that built it from scratch? Who's more respected? The guy that built it from scratch, right? Because it's more likely, right? Here's the point. It's more
Exactly.
likely that he has greater conviction and overall strength of character than the guy that was born into it. Let's say they're both doing well, right? They both have billion-dollar companies. The guy that built from scratch is going to be more respected more times than not because it's more likely that he built this, that he has the strength of character compared to the other person because he already had everything handed to him. That's the point. That's the whole point. And that's analogous to Batman and Superman. Now, of course, Superman has courage. I mean, look at the shit he's done over the years. Fucking Doomsday and Darkseid and the very fact that
Brainiac. Yeah.
Brainiac, and not to say he doesn't, but Batman's just more tested. You know, more tested. There's no
Well,
doubt about it.
like at the end of the day, I'm sorry, guys, it's just not a competition. Like it's very logical and common sense.
Yeah,
Like let's be real, who has more trials and tribulations and pain, et cetera, whatever, blah blah, the whole nine. When it comes to people like fucking Spider-Man, Batman, et cetera, and then compare that to Superman. Like, come on, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's
Like,
not
come on,
comparable.
bro.
They live two completely different lives. I mean, it's not even comparable. I mean, the daily lives that they experience are so different. The upbringings are different. It's everything. Being born with everything compared to with this trauma. So it's very different. But yeah, folks. A few more people came in, so we'll see if some more questions come in. Any
Yeah.
questions at
And
all?
another thing too, we're not just saying that because we love Batman either. Like the
Yeah,
same applies for Batman. One concept that I could apply the same mentality with is him having fucking money right off the whip, right? You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
so like obviously for all of that, while Superman didn't have that. So basically everything we've been saying would go just the same for Superman when it comes to the wealth aspect of things, right?
Yeah,
It's the same exact shit. But if we disregard wealth and we talk about what Batman had to earn and what he had to work for, while Superman was just given all of it, for here you go, right? Batman had to train around the whole world for years and do all the shit he did to become the superhero that he is. Intelligence wise, physically wise, everything. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
again, that's just gonna have more honor, more respect, whatever. And then along with the other principles that we discussed, like him being able to be killed or injured or being a human, etc., whatever. Again, it's very obvious, right? That's
yeah.
all we're saying, dude.
It's like yeah, like Spider-Man and
So
Batman. Spider-Man lives in a shitty apartment in Queens. Batman lives in a fucking a whole fucking estate. It's way different.
yeah.
So
So who obviously has it harder and more
yeah,
difficult in that
financially,
aspect? Obviously,
it's
Spider-Man.
yeah, and
Like
like Spider-Man
and,
2.
and, and yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
reason Spider-Man 2 is so good, obviously, the fights and stuff, but just what he goes through, his life, what he has to sacrifice to
yeah.
be
The,
Spider-Man. Like that scene where he gets
yeah,
home,
yeah, like the realism, what the
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 realism.
relatable shit,
Yeah.
like
When he gets home from work, he's all fucked up and tired and shit. He's just sitting there. That's the real battle. He's sitting there and he's like, man, this is tough, man. I mean, I've sacrificed Mary Jane, sacrificed my fucking
Yeah, you want to know
education.
what Superman does? You want to know what Superman does? Does all his shit, whatever Will say, whatever, blah, blah, comes back home after work. He's like, okay, let's go. I'm great. Let's
Yeah,
watch some TV
literally.
or hey Lois, let's have some sex. Like the
Yeah,
man, the man's not even. He's ready to go. He's fine.
yeah,
Shit.
exactly. He'll speed to
If
the
anything, the only negative aspect he may have is just being annoyed at certain things or irritated.
yeah,
That's
it's
about it.
irritated, not breaking something by accident. That's it. That's all he has to worry about. But Spider-Man gets home, he's like, I'm sacrificing my job, my own, the person I'm in love with, my education to keep saving people. I mean, I'm Spider-Man, and I have to do this. It fucking sucks. I'm isolated, secluded. It's so quiet here, silent. But here I am saving, trying to save as many people as I can because of the gift I was given. So that's why Spider-Man 2 is arguably the greatest superhero movie of all time. Is because of the realism that's explored. His crisis that he has within himself. The Dark Knight too, with Bruce and the Joker really testing his resolve. Um, that was a beautiful conflict, I guess you could call it. Yeah. Batman, honestly, a really good character in that movie that's always overlooked is Alfred. Because Alfred gave Bruce so much insight, wisdom.
Alfred's another incredible fucking character. Like
Yeah.
just great. Yeah.
It's just when he tells him, like, listen, you have to do the things that no one else is willing to do. Like when he's questioning whether he should come back or give in to the Joker's demands, he's like, he's dying. These people's, death are on my hands. He's like, listen, you have to stop him. I mean, that's something you have to live with because he's going
Yeah,
to
I
continue.
will.
Yeah,
Yeah, I will say this though, Jay. Like the Superman movie that's coming out soon with the trailer, with how James Gunn's doing it, whatever. Here's the thing. I already know that movie's going to be doing really fucking good and great. And you want to know why?
yeah.
Because what we've been discussing this whole time, you could tell he's gonna have tribulations in that movie. You could
Facts,
tell it's
facts.
gonna be like there's gonna be a lot
He
of shit where
struggles.
he's going through it, struggles,
Yeah,
and those are the Superman comics that people
yeah,
be fucking with, or the writing that we like, whatever. Not just easy mode life, can't everything's easy, blah blah, boring shit. Just everything's boring, right? So that's why I have a really good like feeling on that movie because I can already tell and I already know that the direction where it's going, like you could tell he's going through some shit, like in that movie.
yeah.
Like
And
there's shit
the
going down,
yeah, one of
So
the most telling
yeah,
scenes is when he's walking, I think, and someone
yeah,
throws something at him, and like
yep.
it obviously doesn't hurt him physically, but you could tell in his face he's like, "Fuck, man,
It bothers him. Yeah,
this is rough." Like
he's like all the shit I do for you guys, it ain't enough,
yeah, it ain't enough, and that's a real tribulation. That
And that's good writing. Yeah, like
it's good
that's
writing.
good. Like that's the
Uh,
shit people are really gonna enjoy with the concept of Superman, not just he's always getting cheered for or happy and blah blah and it's like he saves the day, or beats this guy effortlessly. Like all that's great at all, but it's boring.
boring. Yeah,
Like it's boring as shit.
yeah. It's
So
super super predictable, and it's
yeah.
this looks special. I gotta say.
Now, but you want to know why Superman works too? Because it has both. It has all the boring shit, right? And then
Yeah,
eventually it has those like rare writing comic or occurrences and stories and things like that, whatever, and so on and so forth. But that's why, like, when Man of Steel came out, the reason why I really fucked with that movie a lot is because it had a mix of both,
yep,
and it was,
did.
but it stuck more to the tribulations and trials and for the things that he was going through. Even though he was like a god, and you would think, everything we're saying, right? Like it's easy mode, whatever, blah blah, but it was really focusing on like the struggles, right, and all that stuff
Yeah,
and whatnot. And that's different because all the other Superman movies, from my memory, it was always just like, oh, easy mode, great time, he's
literally.
praised, blah blah, and
Yeah,
then it has to fight Lex Luthor, right? And it's
yeah,
just shit like that, right? And that's what basically all those movies really were. While with this, it was like it was great. Like the writing was really good. The only time where it got stupid was when he killed Zod. Like that was dumb. But other
yeah. That
than
was dumb.
that, better than that, I did enjoy though the fact of where he wasn't able to save everybody because
Yeah,
that's another weird aspect they always did in the comics too, where
just
he's
saving
somehow
everybody.
saving everybody. Yeah, like and fighting at the same time. I'm sorry, but that's not realistic, bro.
No, no,
Like
no, no.
that's why with the Invincible series, I always fucked with Invincible because like when he's fighting people, people are dying, right? You know what I mean? Like
Left
they're
and
getting
right.
killed or
Yeah,
and yeah, left or right, he can't save. Like that's some realism and that's some pretty crazy shit. Like, no, don't get me wrong. Would I obviously want the superhero to save people as much as possible?
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, yeah.
But again, it's things like that, especially with the concept or a character like Superman. People will be like, "Oh shit, okay, I fuck with this, right? It's different, right? It's not, So that's all we're getting at. You know what I mean? That's why, like, with the Man of Steel Superman and with Henry Cavill, like, they did a great job until they eventually started fucking up with certain things. But so like, and that's really all it is. So that's why, like, again, with what me and Jared saying, like, whoever made that one comment before, we're not saying like he doesn't have nothing, like he doesn't go through nothing. No, like we obvious, like there's Doomsday,
Yeah.
all kinds
It
of
was
shit,
great
right? But
comics.
for
Yeah,
the most part, in a consistent basis, it's the other way around. You know what I mean? And nobody
exactly.
really, cares.
Yeah,
That's why Batman's always number one selling and the best DC hero because he has the most
especially
complex
now.
stories,
Yeah,
philosophy, morality, whatever, dark, good, whatever. And in Spider-Man, another concept, dark, good, whatever, blah blah. Like that's why Spider-Man is extremely successful and an iconic character.
yeah.
In
Just
Marvel, like
trials.
one of
Yeah,
the best and favorites. So,
exactly. But yeah, well, folks,
but
we'll answer a couple more here. Oh shit, $50? Holy shit, you might stay longer because of that. I appreciate that, Marcus. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Let's check this out. Good evening, guys. I think people misunderstand Goku a lot. He has character development. He just embodies a truth that others have to realize. There will always be someone else stronger around the next corner. Goku inspires through this truth. Yeah. So when it comes to Goku, I do agree that he embodies that. I think he recognized a long time ago that there's always another step to be, reached. another goal to be met. Um, Goku does embody that. I do agree. Um, I guess what we were saying earlier is that he is by default very idealistic as far as his optimism. Not to say that isn't admirable, because it is. I think we were just saying that, it's very, very rare, almost non-existent to see him shaken, and that's relatable.
Yeah.
To see someone shook, to see
Like
someone tested.
the only time that happens with Goku is Frieza.
Frieza,
Like when Frieza's
yeah,
introduced, that's when like he like, he really gets a taste of damn reality fucking sucks,
yeah,
like, and he couldn't save the day for the millionth time or have shit on easy mode.
yeah,
So
and
when he sees Krillin die, like that, what do you know? Everybody, not only because of like what happens, right? It's fucking epic or like all that. Like, yeah, that's great, but because of what even transpired that came to that, like.
yeah,
So what do you know? A
and
tribulation, a loss.
and ironically
So
enough, his most memorable moments are when he's overcoming great challenge.
yeah,
Frieza, Super Saiyan.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
Cell
Uh,
or not Cell, Boo, Super Saiyan 3.
but you see the pattern, Jay, in the trend. What we're getting at,
Yeah,
like it's whenever it's overcoming. You know what I mean? Not the
overcoming.
easy mode, always win. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or
So
Goku
it's
Black.
obvious.
Goku Black and
Yeah,
and and fucking, the other guy, I forgot his name, forgot his fucking name, but when he like loses it after he loses his family, you know. Um or against Jiren when he goes Ultra Instinct, you know. All these great
literally.
moments, it's him overcoming adversity. And these transformations, the way I've always looked at them, they're physical, but I think they're
Yeah,
metaphorical. They're like metaphorical
it's
representations
more than
of,
physical. Absolutely.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
metaphorical, figurative representations of him overcoming
mentally.
adversity.
Yep.
Yeah, the mental
Yep.
challenges, and he does embody that. That
And he still did the noble thing. He
yeah,
still did the right thing too. With it,
still
like
did it.
he could have killed Frieza, but he was trying to give Frieza chances over and over. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like just the whole writing, everything with that was just incredible. It was
it's
absolutely
spectacular.
and it was it reminded me of Kakashi all over again too, where like
Yeah,
Kakashi's like doing the noble thing, or like blah blah, like fucking, like it's just that's what people really fuck with. And so when Superman gets moments like that again, everybody's gonna fuck with it, right? Because he's overcoming something, like
exactly.
so.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I do agree though. Goku is the embodiment of
Yeah,
character of constant improvement. I will always agree with that. There's a
yep.
reason why he's arguably the greatest. In anime, I think it's safe to say he's the greatest fictional character, but you can even argue in just fiction, he's up there with the greats like Superman, Batman, and all the
Like
greatest
like
fictional
you wanna know
characters.
you wanna know what's good about that too, Jay? That you're saying all this because I've
Yeah,
been watching Dragon Ball recently. It's been
yeah,
so long, and it's like I'm basically watching it for the first time. It's an old show, man. What's it on? I was watching it, and you hit it on the nail, bro. Throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball, that's all he's doing is just improving.
yeah.
Even though he's technically a Superman in a way, like he's actually very similar to Superman. He's an alien, whatever. And he
Prodigal.
has
Yeah,
like a lot of advantage. Yeah, he has a lot of advantages compared to all the humans on Earth. He can learn shit instantaneously. Like, I'm not taking away from all that, but even with all of that of him technically having things on easy mode, he's still busting his ass though.
constant
He's
grind. Yeah,
basically a fusion of Superman and Batman is what I'm getting at.
facts,
You know what I
facts.
mean? Like
Yeah,
in a way. And that's why people are gonna really, really acknowledge or really fuck with Goku a lot more compared to Superman because he's still having to overcome a lot of shit or work for like the fucking workouts he's doing with Master Roshi and all that, and then even Master Roshi like trying to instill the concept of him not always being able to win. Like that was a moment that struck to me. It was during the tournament arc. It was the first arc in the beginning of Dragon Ball
yeah,
where Master Roshi was like he's like Goku always fucking wins, and that's a problem. I want him to understand and know that he can lose. That is really important in life. And that's the
right,
only
right.
way he could ever grow and reach his full potential is if he loses, because then
Failure.
he'll know that he's
Yeah,
not, that guy, right, all the time, or you know what I mean? Like that's
yeah,
the only true motivational thing to have is when you fail, when you lose, that's when you truly can reach your peak. That's even in real
yeah.
life. That's relatable,
That's extremely
So
relatable. Yeah,
yeah, so like when I was seeing that shit, I was like, yo, this is some peak shit because Master Roshi, he goes in a tournament disguise, you know what I mean, whatnot. And 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 Yamcha's like, bro, why are you doing all this shit, bro? Like, we know, I am the only one that know it's you, whatever, blah, blah. He's like, because I need to teach Goku the lesson of tribulations or whatever, and the concept of you can't win in everything, right? And that's the only way he's gonna reach his full potential. And it was great, I loved it, and he beat Goku, and because of that, Goku is like, yeah, I really need to get stronger, and that's when he puts himself to all these fucking goals he's trying to reach when necessarily he doesn't even really have to, but he's
Yeah,
doing it just in case. What do you
his
know? Very
drive.
similar to what
Yeah,
Batman does, his
exactly.
drive and
Yeah,
to always be prepared and be whatever blah blah. So
yeah.
and it just keeps going from there. It just keeps going.
That's why
So
he's so iconic. Yeah, this is a good comment by this little gremlin. I feel like it really just stops there, though. He overcomes fights with more physical power. I'm glad you said that because I think it comes down to perspective. This is the reason why arguably Goku
yeah,
might be still my favorite anime character ever, even above Jinwoo and all of them. Because growing up, I would see these moments, and again, it's all perspective. It's all
yeah,
arbitrary to the person watching it and subjective. But when I see Goku overcome these moments, yeah, he's using physical power. Yeah, his power level is rising physically. But I see that as a metaphor, like I said earlier, a metaphorical representation of overcoming adversity. And that's
yeah,
why I admired him so much. To me, it represented moments that he just won't fucking quit, man. He just said, you know what, I'll die here if I have to. And he died a few times. I mean, he's fucking died trying
yeah.
multiple
Yo, that
times.
was shown in Dragon Ball too. Like he
Yeah,
actually was losing to a good amount of people, but even if he lost, he would still get back up and try to win, or he would train, do whatever he has to do, fight the guy again, and there you go. Now he overcomes, right? Like
yeah,
there's this one dude that was an assassin and he fucking beat the fuck out of Goku, bro. And he would have killed Goku if it wasn't for the Dragon Ball taking the blow from his beam move. But Goku survived, and so what does Goku do? He's not even doing this for himself, like because that assassin killed this kid's father right in front of Goku, and Goku is really close with the kid and the father, and so Goku's like, you know what, just to like avenge your father and so on and so forth, I'm gonna get stronger just for you and beat that dude, right? He wasn't even doing it for
yeah,
himself, he was doing it for someone else. And so he climbs this big ass fucking tower, this insane huge tower, like climbs that shit, he's exhausted, mind you, climbs it, gets up top, and you'd think he would want to rest, whatever. Nah, he's literally like, all right, I need the water, right? Because I need the water to become more powerful, whatever, blah, blah. And there's this like weird cat creature looking thing, whatever. And he's like, well, if you want the fucking water, then you're going to have to get it and earn it.
right,
And he
yeah,
tries to earn it. He goes from there, he's training the whole night, whatever. And again, it's just Goku's resilience, like his motivation, like just everything, his workout, like all that shit. It's truly like inspiring. It's admirable.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's very
so again, like
inspiring.
he earned his shit. He works for it,
Yeah,
like.
and this is the thing about characters like Goku. There are entire, especially the gym community. I'm talking about millions of people that look at, he's a fictional character. They look at him as a source of inspiration. Truly, I mean, it might sound cringe, whatever, but dead ass guys like him, Naruto, Luffy, even now Jinwoo, Rising, they look at these guys as sources of inspiration because of what they represent. Yeah, they're fucking fighting and they're powerful and stuff, but what they represent metaphorically is the reason why they're so
Yeah,
admired and why Dragon Ball has stood the test of time for like 40 years now. Literally 40 years because of what Goku's been doing to millions of people ideologically, motivationally. Obviously entertainment factor, sure, but there's much more to it. And again, that's subjective, but clearly it's had an effect globally. And
yeah,
so have these other animes, Naruto, One Piece, Solo Leveling now with
yeah.
Jinwoo doing what
Hey,
he's done. You
I'll
know,
say this, but W concepts on
oh,
topic, man.
yeah, this is
Good
definitely
shit.
fucking
Yeah,
W.
it's good stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
W Dono, and I know the editor. Shout out to the editor. He's gonna be editing this. I appreciate you, brother, for that. This is some W content. Top three Goku moments. I think we can all agree Super Saiyan against Frieza is number one and probably always will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking beyond iconic. Honestly, up
Yeah.
there now, I always think about this moment that was Ultra Instinct Goku against Jiren. It's pretty fucking goated, man. Pretty fucking goated.
Insane. Right.
Insane. It literally broke the fucking internet when it happened back in the day.
And the
And
next thing I guess I'd say would be Super Saiyan 3, really.
that was pretty
I
peak.
think that's
That was
like
pretty big.
it's not Super Saiyan 2 because Gohan took the highlight for that.
Gohan took
So
that. Yeah, Gohan took that
yeah.
moment. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
Super
but I
Saiyan
would say
3.
Super Saiyan 3 because like when we didn't even know he had another form, and that man's like, no, I got something even beyond it. Everybody's like, huh? And then damn well the
Yeah.
audience is like, wait a fucking minute, this man has another form? Like, huh?
Yeah.
And then
The
he just
fucking
and yeah, I know you could critique it. It's a little funny, you know, because he's like screaming for a long
like
time. But even that
episodes.
was like
Yeah.
fucking cool. Yeah, even that is like great because like when he's screaming, like everything's being destroyed, like the world's shaking, like
It's
it's
just pure aura.
insane, bro.
Yeah, pure aura at
Yeah,
that
it's just
moment.
pure aura. And then you see the form, and then Majin Buu's like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? So that was great. That was
That's
great. You
literal
know.
aura. That's the literal embodiment of aura farming. He's fucking farming
Yeah.
aura while yelling. That's
It's
crazy.
either that moment or it's in the recent new show that came out to where he flexes all his forms. So he goes Super Saiyan 1,
Facts.
2, 3,
Three,
and then goes to
four.
4. We see then
Holy
4.
shit!
That was crazy.
$100?
You know?
Dude, that's
Oh
W
shit.
Marcus, man. W Marcus, bro. That's fucking crazy. Hey
Hey,
man,
let's get it.
we were about to end the stream. That's crazy. That is crazy. Hey, W
I think he
Marcus.
said, "Nah, Jay, you ain't going nowhere."
He's like, hey Jay, chill the fuck out with that ending the stream shit, bro. Chill
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck out.
What
Hey,
the
W
fuck?
Marcus, man, that's a huge W. W Marcus, appreciate that, brother. That's some W work right there, man.
W man.
Real legend for that. Appreciate that, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and read that. Goku does have an advantage, being a Saiyan. Yeah, he still loses to Earthlings at the beginning. Then Vegeta frees a cell. Boo, now there's gods, and a whole multiverse comes along. Goku realizes time and time again, there's more out there. Toriyama ready to go. Hey, first of all, yeah, like you said, R.I.P. Toriyama. The guy, I think he will hold this title forever. He's the manga god. There's no doubt about that. He is the manga
Yeah.
god. He is the Stan Lee, whatever you want to call him, the Stan Lee of anime, the fucking Bill Gates of fucking anime, the fucking Michael Jordan
Yep.
of anime, whatever you want to call him. As far as the top of the field, that's what Toriyama is, dude. He is the fucking the grandfather of anime. And unironically enough, he made the most iconic character in anime history, Goku. I mean,
Oh, Jay,
it's
I just remember this shit. That it was right in the beginning of It was like I think it was in the 30th episode or 20 something episode. I did not expect Master Roshi to blow up a moon with the Kamehameha that early. That was crazy,
oh
bro.
right. That just shows how powerful they are that
I
early.
thought
Yeah,
that was insane. Like, bro,
yeah,
I thought that I wasn't gonna be seeing shit like that until Goku was fighting Piccolo, because I heard Piccolo has a moon feat, you know,
yeah. He does.
whatever.
Yeah,
But I didn't know Master Roshi did that shit in the beginning. Literally the beginning. I was like, what the fuck? He did that
yeah.
so Goku couldn't transform anymore
Right.
to
Yeah. That's
depower
exactly
into the
why.
Poke form.
That's exactly
You know,
why.
and like I was like, that's crazy.
And
That's
his
a
power
helmet,
level is
bro.
only
Like,
like his power level is really low compared to obviously now in Dragon Ball. It's like in the hundreds.
yeah.
It's not even that high, and he's destroying the moon.
Like
Um,
that was insane. That's bro, like the beginning of Dragon Ball. So like, bro, imagine how much more powerful these motherfuckers are by Z.
yeah,
Like that's just crazy.
the tiers of scaling that have been jumped since then are so vast. I mean, that's why the
Yeah,
multiversal argument exists now, like in Dragon Ball. I mean, it exists because
yeah.
I mean, look how early they were destroying fucking small planets like celestial
Like,
bodies
bro,
already.
like in the first arc of Dragon
Insane,
Ball, that's
fucking
where
crazy,
everything
man.
started. And he's
Yeah.
destroying a moon. A
It's
moon.
insane. Like that's insane work. That's crazy
And
work.
Goku, and here's another thing: Goku, as a kid, was able to still mate Master Roshi's full Kamehameha.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how powerful he was as a
So
fucking kid. Like
that
he was a
means
fucking
Goku
child.
can do it as a kid. He can.
Uh, it's fucking crazy. It makes you wonder just how big
Uh,
Planet Piccolo was. Yeah, dude. That's the reason why Dragon Ball and the anime's power scaling chain is so high. I mean, fucking in the
because isn't
19.
Piccolo like isn't Piccolo the last arc of Dragon Ball?
I think
So like,
so.
so I could only imagine how strong Goku gets at that point. And
Yeah.
if a moon is being destroyed that early in the first arc, like that means like Piccolo destroyed a moon. That was like casual for him. Then that's
Yeah.
not even like really that draining. Probably at that point. So
Exactly. It just explains why universal arguments and even multiversal arguments exist in Dragon Ball now. Toriyama
yeah,
was smart. Another W moment for Toriyama is that he got rid of power level numbers because one, it gives away
yeah,
who's gonna win. Two, it makes us wonder how powerful these people, how powerful these Z fighters and all these entities are now. It's like we got to the hundreds, we got to the thousands, and then like the Frieza, with Frieza, Namek, it got like I think it got to like a million. Back then, that
yeah.
was a long ass time ago. Now I mean, we can only speculate how large these numbers, billions, trillions, like fucking. Imagine the power level of fucking Black Frieza. That shit has to be in the fucking trillions, man. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous how strong these people are now. So Toriyama was very brilliant with the marketing as well. Very brilliant. People are still talking to this fucking day, 40 years later, talking about who would win, how goated Goku is. I mean, it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. Very 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 goated shit. Um, now there's like I said, that's a big reason why Goku is mine and many of others. Super Saiyan Goku 150 million facts, and I believe Final Form Frieza was 120 million. That's how
Yeah,
big that was back then. Imagine now, 150
yeah.
million power level.
Uh,
That's fucking crazy, man. That's talking about the billions, trillions, probably numbers we can't even fucking pronounce or don't
Yeah,
even
numbers. No,
exist.
it's just numbers. Yeah, it's just
Uh,
at that point, it's like I think there's a word for it, isn't it? Like immeasurable or whatever, or
Immeasurable. It
something
has
like
to be
that.
immeasurable.
Yeah.
It's like numbers that fucking
And then there should even beyond that if they've even reached that point.
yeah,
So
like quantum computing would have to fucking compute
like
these
I
numbers,
saw a
dude.
picture with Sonic and Flash, and
Yeah.
Flash is like, oh, I could move this fat, whatever, and then Sonic's like, oh, that's cute. So you're still you're
Measurable.
still at speed. Yeah, yeah, measurable speed. I'm immeasurable,
Exactly.
whatever. Or I don't even
Yeah.
have numbers for my shit.
That's where it makes sense. When you start talking about those levels, it's fucking crazy,
Yeah.
man. Goku, Flash's miles per hour, Sonic, like that's where immeasurable fits. I think people throw around that term a lot, or they'll throw around these giant terms, hyperversal, omniversal. But people don't understand how vastly, like, just fucking large those
But
scales
I'm
of,
sorry, but anyone
like,
coming out saying Naruto, like in Boruto and whatnot,
yeah.
is like, fucking universal or multiverse, all this bullshit, that's fucking
That's
cap.
bullshit.
That
There's
is
still not
absolutely
enough
fucking
for
cap.
that. There's still not enough for that.
You tell me if Naruto as a kid was blowing up a fucking moon, okay?
Yeah,
No, he was not.
exactly. It's like Boruto, even in Boruto, the universal argument, it's very far-fetched. There's really nothing. You could use hyperbolic statements. You could use very small snippets of information.
Remind you, I'm biased for Naruto, by the way.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I enjoy
exactly.
Naruto more than Dragon Ball and all that.
Right.
Like Dragon
Yeah.
Ball is in my top three. And that counts as everything. By the way, I'm not just saying Dragon Ball itself. I mean for all of it. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, all of it. It's just in my
Right,
top
right.
three.
Yeah.
Me, it's Naruto, then Dragon Ball, which for everything, mind you. And the third one I haven't decided yet because there's a lot of good ass animes. But
So
either
many.
way, you know, mind you, I'm biased for that, and I know you know what I mean? Like Naruto and Boruto is just not built like that.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Ball is different, dude. Like
Yeah, and this is another idea I had. Let me know if you guys would like this, and Marcus especially, but I'll be Marcus. I'm sure you guys have seen these YouTube shorts where you'll see guys pitting up characters against characters, and it's like a randomizer, and they kind of determine
yeah,
which side would win. One, that would be a reason to bring back face cams. I was thinking like five Dragon Ball characters versus five Naruto characters, and then they're randomized, and then I say, oh, this side would win. I've been seeing that a
yeah.
lot. It's like a new trend in the anime community. If you guys would like that, one, it would give me a reason to bring back face cams. Two, it'd be fun for me, and if you guys
Sure.
would like something like that, those will be YouTube shorts on the main channel. I could do like, oh, five characters from Gojo versus five characters from Soul Leveling, and then it's like randomized.
It sounds lit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I saw this guy, I forgot the name of him, shout him out. He was doing solo leveling. I forgot his name, but he was doing like five characters that are gonna attack me and five characters that are gonna defend me. And it's like randomized though. And it was a cool concept and I thought it gave me ideas. So if you guys would be interested in something like that, I could do that. It's easy, it's fast, and it keeps you on your toes because it's randomized too. Um, so you guys let me know. That's something I had in mind too as far as content. It's easy, by the way. It's not hard to do, obviously.
Yeah.
So let me know about that as well. Maybe I could even make it a video if I could brainstorm into a video type concept where it'd be longer and I can get into it a little more. But yeah, I thought that was a really cool concept. Whoever came up with that, I think it would be cool. Yeah, yeah. I saw. If I could shout him out for the credit, I'll probably shout him out when I do my first if I do that. But it was a cool concept. And people have been doing it with Marvel characters and DC characters too. Like
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
good
a new
too.
it's a new thing I saw recently. Like it just someone came up with it and now they're doing it for anime.
Speaking
Uh,
of matchups, you know what I just thought of? and someone's probably done on YouTube by now. Wouldn't surprise him, but
Yeah.
fucking Rick Grimes from Walking Dead versus
Oh,
Joel
I
from The Last of
saw
Us.
that. I saw someone do a video on that. I saw someone do a
That'd
video
be
on
pretty
that.
badass.
That's fire.
Shit.
That's fire. That's actually a
Yeah,
good
I thought
video.
of that. I thought of that at some point today,
Yeah.
because like the whole Last of Us shit happening, and whatnot, and then it just hit me. I know. I was like, wait a minute, imagine him going against Rick. That'd be pretty
That's
crazy.
sick. That's sick. One on
No, I'm
one.
gonna say this though. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say if it's game Joel, he slams
Oh,
Rick. I don't
he's
want to
it's
fucking hear
so
it.
yeah. He's one. It's gonna be
It's
very
not
very
even like,
apparent.
bro. That motherfucker is taking out armies of humans, infected and shit. You know,
Infected.
like
Yeah,
big
dude.
boss infected motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
game Joel is insane. But now,
Bloaters. Yeah.
if it's now the TV show though, Joel, that I think is fair
Yeah. You
game
got a
and it really
conversation.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I'm gonna be real with you. Even though it's contentious in a way, I do lean towards more with Rick because I feel like Rick dominates humans a lot more competent and quicker than Joel does. Because like from the fights that I remember with Joel in season one, he was struggling a lot. Like every time he
Yeah. He
got into a
struggled a lot
fight,
more.
he was
Yeah.
losing for the most part, and then he comes on top in the end. You know what I
He
mean?
got
Like
stabbed
but
by
it's
that one dude.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it always kind of annoyed me because I'm like, whoa, like I was so used to like the badass Joel in the game where he's just killing
Domination.
people left and right, or
Yeah.
or he's normally like dominating, or even if he fights against someone, he's having a problem. It's more likely because they're just as badass as him, right?
Yeah.
And you get that vibe with Rick in the TV show, but with Joel in the TV show, it's really not like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
for the most part, it's basically like just fair game no matter any human he's
It's
going against.
relative.
You know
Yeah.
what I
It's
mean? Like,
relative.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's relative. It's always like, while Rick, he either just killed people left and right because of how much of a badass he was, or he had to go against someone like Negan or the
Or the
governor. You know what I
governor.
mean? Or
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
someone that was about it, or his bro Shane. You know what I mean? Like,
Shane.
so like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so like at the end of the day, like it might sound crazy, but I think Rick actually has the advantage
TV
TV show
show,
wise.
yeah, I could see
Yeah,
that because he has more
yeah,
feats. Firstly, he has more
yeah, yeah,
victories against like more elite, at least that we know of, more
yep.
elite
More
characters like
badasses, more physique
Shane,
people.
yeah,
Yep.
Governor,
People that are
yeah,
bigger
honestly,
than him too.
yeah, bigger, strong,
Yeah,
probably stronger. He's just more like skilled. And honestly, yeah, if
yeah,
it was TV versus TV show versions, I might lean towards Rick more. Yeah, game version, I
yeah.
mean, Joel fucking slaughtered. Probably this whole
Double
camp would get
draw.
slaughtered by him, to be
Yeah,
honest.
he would kill everybody in The Walking
Yeah.
Dead. Really.
It'd be like him
Yeah,
slaughtering Shane, Rick, fucking Daryl,
yep.
all of them would get fucked up. Yeah, it'd be crazy. But yeah, that's whoever came up with that idea, that's a good one. That's a good one for sure. Or like Tommy versus
Yeah,
Shane or
I
some
thought
shit.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought of it like today, and I was like, that'd be really fucking cool. But I already know someone's already probably beat me to it. Any like
Yeah.
massive Walking Dead
I
fan or
think
versus Battle
uh
YouTube channel or
I
something. But
think that one guy, Danko, he did it, I think.
of
Danko.
course, he does
Yeah.
everything.
He
Yeah,
does all of it,
like
dude. Even ideas I've
motherfucker.
had, he's done them. He's done them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, that's the thing. Like, it always sucks. Like, this is one of the struggles nowadays, guys, as it being like a content creator.
Yeah.
Like for people that like only have so much time, right, or have to juggle their
Exactly.
full-time job and then this
Yeah.
whatever, like we can only do so much. So by the time we even come with a great fucking idea or
Someone's
video
done
to
it.
do, somebody's
Yeah.
done it because they have all the time in the world because they've already
They're like
reached
full
that peak of
time.
success.
Yeah.
Just consist, yeah, they're full-time in the YouTube. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
it's such a fucking disadvantage and it sucks,
I
but
know. I'm like, fuck, man. Yeah,
because
that's
that would have been a
crazy.
banger. That if you did that video, Jay, that would have been a banger video for you
Oh,
to do. If you
facts.
were the
I could.
first one to do
You
it.
know what? I'll admit
Yeah.
this. I was when I did Omnia vs Homelander. I had the
Yeah.
idea for a while. He did it, Danko, and I still did it, and it did really well. So I could
Yeah.
still do. And I don't think people are gonna be like, "You're
Okay.
stealing from
Yeah.
Danko." I'm like, dude, you know how many people probably thought of that?
Yeah.
First of all, so I don't think people would say you're
Yeah.
stealing. The only way you could say that is if you steal scripts, and Danko's scripts they're all right, but my scripts
Uh,
are a lot different. So
wait, now you just reminded me. Wasn't Denko like accused of
yeah,
stealing
he
from
was
him?
accused of that shit. Like a lot of the
Wait, I'm
YouTubers
like,
we
wait a
know
minute.
of were saying that. A lot of the YouTubers we know were
Yeah.
saying that actually. Apparently he's like
Yeah.
plagiarizing like ideas, like not just their video ideas, but like their scripts and shit,
Oh,
stuff like that. Um,
well,
I don't know if that's true. I haven't watched enough of his
yeah.
content to know that, but
Yeah, I heard
he's
about that drama. You brought it up,
yeah.
and
Ty learned like shout out to Ty,
yeah.
make great Cobra Kai content.
Honestly,
Guys
no,
like
either
that.
way, that'll be a good vid for you to to really like
Yeah,
look into. Like the only problem though is like that might be a little bit time consuming because like
it's a
there's a lot of
lot of
seasons of The
shit.
Walking
Yeah,
Dead.
it's a
Yeah,
lot.
you're gonna have to like you're gonna have to like skim through that for the most part. You
Yeah,
like if you were to really take your time, shit, that's a lot of time for a
it's a
video.
lot of
So like
fucking
yeah, you're
seasons. Yeah,
so you're definitely gonna have to skim through for Rick, but for
yeah.
Joel for the most part, that's pretty
Easy,
straightforward,
easy.
bro.
I know everything
Yeah,
about Joel now for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's a great idea,
Especially
actually.
TV show wise, like the game is a lot longer. Like the game
Yeah,
has
yeah. The
way more
game is a
screen
bunch of
time
shit.
and beats.
Yeah,
Yeah, but let's be real. Like, I don't think anybody's gonna ever think of game Joel versus like that's
yeah,
pretty obvious who wins that, you
yeah.
know?
That's like that one would
So
be like a not close video. Like it's not close type video
yeah,
if I did that
in all
shit.
honesty, it makes sense. Like, think of another good example, like Batman, Arkham Batman in the game, and then
Yeah.
compare that to Christian Bale's Batman. A
Oh hell
big
no.
fucking difference.
There he's like
Yeah.
scrapping with
So,
fucking like with fucking Bane and shit, like hand to hand and fucking Arkham. It's
literally,
crazy. Yeah,
Hulk
no, that's
Bane, remind you.
yeah, yeah,
Fucking
yeah. Steroid Bane, not even like Dark Knight Rises where he's like a regular human with muscles. Yeah.
yeah.
Literally. It's like a big ass difference. Like, bro. Batman would
Uh,
get worked by Arkham
uh,
Batman. It wouldn't be close. Um,
so
yeah, but yeah, that's a great trend I saw recently, and maybe I should just jump on it. And we've done face cams a long time, so I just
yeah.
haven't done them in a while. But it's easy. It's cool. I
Oh,
think
another good one you could do, Jay. We're gonna have to wait till the movie comes out. But
yeah,
once the other Karate Kid movie comes out with Jackie Chan and Daniel-san, like where they're training him, which is so fucking cool.
it's peak.
What's it called? When that comes out, you could do a versus battle of all the Karate Kids, like the generation. So like Will Smith is Karate
Oh,
Kid.
that's a great idea,
Jaden Smith,
actually.
yeah, Jaden
Yeah.
Smith versus Daniel-san versus the new one that's coming out in theaters eventually. Um, and what correct me if I'm wrong, Jay. I don't think there really was a Karate Kid in the TV show Cobra Kai. Like,
Nah, I
yeah,
guess it's implied
I
it's
guess you could
Miguel,
maybe
but
argue, yeah, you could imply it's Miguel, right?
yeah,
But I don't know if I would fully count him as a Karate Kid.
as a
But
Karate
either
Kid,
way,
yeah,
whether if you put Miguel in there or not, you could at least do Jaden Smith, Daniel's son, and the new one that's coming out in theaters. That
yeah,
man, that
facts,
would be a
facts, facts.
pretty cool video.
That's actually a really good idea.
So
That's a really good idea. Yeah, and I
yeah.
guarantee some people are gonna jump on that too.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
you're gonna have to be quick too. Like
yeah,
once that movie comes out, watch that bitch, and then and then start writing that script for that video because you best
immediately.
believe motherfuckers are gonna try to post that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be
Uh,
like Danko. He's
that
gonna be
dude's
all
gonna
over
be
that
jumping
shit.
on that
So
shit. Yeah,
yeah, immediately. Yeah.
immediately. Yeah.
So
But yeah, folks, we'll go a few more minutes. Marcus, if you're still there, let us know, brother. Appreciate the donos, by the way. W as hell. It wasn't about the Karate Kid. It was about Johnny Lawrence. Yeah, but we mean like who would be, as far as the kids of that generation, who would be
yeah, yeah.
like the
And
Karate Kid?
technically it'd be Miguel that's implied. Like if you
Miguel.
really want.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be Miguel, but again, it's iffy. Like it's there's some contentious value
Could be like
because
Robbie.
it
Yeah.
wasn't called Karate Kid. It was called Cobra Kai. The whole
Cobra Kai.
emphasis was
Yeah.
about the OGs and reframing the OG work, right, and going from there. And then that's when they dwelled into the kids and to their dojos and shit. And when you got into all that, then you started getting some Karate Kid vibes with Miguel, right?
Yeah. Getting bullied and
But it
all
was
that shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like super fixated on him, and it wasn't like that theme, right? Where it was just only about him overcut.
Yeah.
No, it was about everybody.
Robbie
Everybody
and
mattered. You know what I mean?
Hawk and
So
yeah.
exactly. So like that's why honestly honestly that's a video of itself, whether or not if you consider Miguel a Karate Kid candidate. But
Right.
either way, that's why we're like, I don't know. But obviously the obvious ones, right? That it's clear as day, the ones that had fucking movies
Like
and were
movies
literally
about
called
him.
Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jaden Smith, okay, and then you have the new one that's coming out, which is with both
Yeah.
senseis involved,
Both
and then
senses
you
involved.
obviously have Daniel's son, who is the Karate Kid
Danielson,
from Mr. Miyagi.
the original. Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll say this though, from the
so
trailer, that guy looks fucking OP as shit. That new Karate Kid
yeah, no,
dude.
he looks cracked.
He's like soloing fucking like groups of people and fucking like flipping and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That guy might
He is
be
getting trading from both the
from
goats,
both.
like
He
yeah.
might be that.
So
He might be him.
it
He
makes
might
sense.
be him. We might
Yeah,
get a statement. I
like
wouldn't be
like
surprised.
think
Get
about
a,
it.
yeah,
Yeah, like think about it. Like Daniel-san only knew Miyagi style, right? And then
yeah,
Jaden Smith only knew Jackie Chan. His fucking karate style, which is apparently like the other ancestor of the family tree. Like they're both part of the same family, but it's two different fighting styles basically.
Yeah.
From what I got from the trailer. But
Yeah,
and then
definitely two
then
fighting
you
styles.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have the third Karate Kid, which is both of them incorporating the fighting style with this. So this dude has best of both worlds.
Best of
You
both
know, like
worlds. Literally, best of
so
both
without
worlds.
a doubt, definitely has the obviously the logical, sounding advantage, right? Because he has both aspects. But it doesn't necessarily mean inherently he could be the best because we won't know until we
Exactly.
watch the movie.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing: you
yeah.
could know all this shit, but still be a worse fighter. That is a thing.
Yeah. And here's the
So,
thing, like
uh,
about the Karate Kid verse as of Cobra Kai ending. There we all
yeah,
know in combat in the real world as the sport evolves, the athlete evolves and they get better and better. But the writers of Cobra Kai
mm,
still say, as of the end of Cobra Kai,
yeah,
that Miyagi is the best ever. He's better than Daniel. He's
yeah,
better than Johnny. He's better than fucking Terry Silver and Kreese and everybody. He's still the greatest. So that I'm
yeah.
interested in. Are they going to be like, oh, he surpassed Miyagi? I don't know. I don't know if they're going to say that about the new kid. I don't know about that. He might
I don't know
surpass
about that.
Daniel. He might surpass Daniel. He might even surpass Jackie
Might
Chan. I
surpass
don't know.
Jaden Smith.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
might surpass Jaden
Oh, but
Smith. But Miyagi, he is karate. That's the thing. That dude is karate. So I don't know, man. I don't
wait,
know.
imagine if they brought obviously it would have to be a different black actor, but the older version of Jaden Smith,
That'd be
like they
so
actually show
sick.
him in the movie. So you
Yeah,
see Daniel's son, the older version of Jaden Smith, but obviously it's like a different actor, not Jaden Smith.
yeah.
And then Jack, like all of them are there. Like that would be crazy.
That'd be
That
so
would be
peak.
crazy.
And people were hoping that Jaden would be in it. Most people think he won't be
But no, that doesn't
because
make sense. Yeah,
yeah,
he looks the same.
yeah, and he looks the same. And apparently he's just weird now. Like he's had issues in his life and shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's had a lot of drama, a lot of controversial
Drama,
shit.
like
I don't know
so.
about all of it, but I heard he like
Yeah, so
in a nutshell, I heard he gives Will Smith a really bad rep. It's very
yeah,
embarrassing from what I've heard.
exactly. Which sucks because
So
Jaden was talented when he was a kid. When he was acting,
yeah,
but it
it
sucks.
was
And
it was influence. It was modern society influence. Unfortunately, the
facts,
drugs,
drugs,
the men
and
and girls, and all the
yeah.
bullshit. He let it get to his head. That's why.
Facts. It's
So
definitely a fact. $10 from Little Gremlin. I appreciate that, brother. Definitely deserves one of these as well. Appreciate that, man. Do you guys know about murder drone scaling? No, I think I've heard of that though, but
yeah,
I don't know about the
never
scaling
heard
of
of
it. Yeah, I think it's
it.
like a web series, but I haven't like
Mm,
no, I don't know enough about it to scale it though.
yeah,
I will say this: Goku's both underrated in terms of being a martial artist. Some people have him over Batman, or underplay him to just being a regular brawler. Goku is certainly not a regular brawler. I
yeah.
would certainly say he's elite. Like remove his power,
Dishonest.
yeah, like remove his ki, remove his power. He's an elite martial artist. To be like a fucking little kid learning from Master Roshi how to use hand to hand,
He was the
combat.
best martial artist.
Yeah, like the very one of the best human martial artists on the planet, maybe the best. He's definitely not a regular brawler. That's definitely underplaying him. But to have him over
Yeah.
Batman, I don't know about that. He knows like 127 martial arts.
Yeah,
Um,
the reason why Batman's cracked is because unfortunately Batman just has way more screen time and feats. Like it's
plot and
the problem
just
is it's not fair. Like that's why Batman is over. Like I'll say this at the end of the day, and mind you, you guys, you know who I am a Batman. If Goku had the same screen time and feats, or better yet, the same exact experience Batman had, I would lean towards more with Goku. Um, but that's the problem. Like Batman just has way more
way
over
more
Goku, like knowledge wise,
feats,
martial arts wise,
narrative. Yeah,
like and at least for intelligence, hands down, okay, hands down, Batman has that over. I don't want to fucking hear it.
yeah, facts.
Intelligence,
That's not even
like
close. That's not even close.
yeah,
Yeah,
now I won't take away with the fact that like Goku, like I know he could like instantaneous like adapt to a fighting style or immediately be able to do the fighting style that he sees, and that's what's so dangerous about Goku, which completely shits on the whole take. He's just a fucking a brawler, whatever the fuck that you guys said. Like
yeah.
that's fucking stupid. This
That's
dude was
yeah.
seeing the best fighters in the world in Dragon Ball as a kid,
As a
and he
child,
was immediately copying their fighting styles or able to do the same exact thing. He was
yeah.
copying Master Roshi's martial arts and fighting styles instantaneously.
He's a child.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
outperforming Master Roshi with it. Okay,
Yeah,
so Goku is ridiculous in fucking
Very
martial arts,
talented.
but
Yeah.
the problem is the knowledge factors between the two, and that's where Batman starts to take the advantage. Sure, while Goku's fighting Batman, like is he going to start like knowing his moves or whatever? Yeah, obviously, but Batman's just going to have another move for that and another counter for that, and Goku's always going to be behind, is what I'm getting at, and that's
Yeah,
why he's
skill
at the
wise.
disadvantage,
Yeah.
and that's why he's just going to lose. And intellectually, at least from my knowledge, I don't remember because I'm trying to watch it all again. But from what my memory, like I know Goku, he's kind of similar to Naruto, right? Like he's not like a really crazy intellectual like combat IQ person, like
Yeah,
you
that's
know
not
like
his style. Yeah.
Kakashi or Itachi or Minute, you know, like the people that are really smart and think about it. You know, the same thing with Batman, really smart. He's not smart in that aspect, but more in like the unpredictable or like or oh I counted you now with this right type
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
You
not
know,
his style.
like
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
yeah that's what I've seen Goku shine a lot with, but not with like really being extremely intelligent with martial arts like nerve
Yeah.
strikes or you know what I mean, like this thing's really
Yeah.
beyond of just throwing a punch or a kick. Like Batman with his intelligence and how he does that and how he strategizes with fighting, I would also have that over Goku as well. But
Yeah.
again, that's based upon because of
Uh,
unfortunately him having more screen time, more feats,
More screen
etc.
time.
That's why it's just more in favor for Batman. But I do
Yeah.
believe if Goku had the same opportunities, or at least saw the same things and experienced the same things, he probably would be better than Batman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and
So
here's another disadvantage. The nature of Dragon Ball itself, it changed over the decades. So at first, when power levels were real low, hand-to-hand combat was more important or of more importance. As they grew in power, we saw more key techniques like blasts and kamehamehas and transformations and this sheer overpowerings to where hand-to-hand
yeah,
combat is negligible because someone's like fucking way faster than the other. So like Ultra Instinct, that doesn't matter. You just can't hit him unless you're Beast Gohan and you just get so powerful that you overwhelm his speed. As the decades have gone on, hand-to-hand combat has become more and more irrelevant because power levels are more important. So that's not as emphasized. Like in Naruto, for example, it's more emphasized. There's more hand-to-hand exchanges, like Sasuke versus Naruto, for example, or Kakashi versus fucking Obito, the Kamui Dimension, or so
Zabuza is a really good one. Yeah.
Zabuza, yeah, that's another good one. Rock Lee when against Neji,
Yep.
I'm
Rock
sure.
Lee.
So
Uh
that's
yep.
the problem. The Dragon Ball, that's not the nature of it. It's not the hand to hand isn't what's emphasized. It's the power. It's the sheer
Yeah.
raw power that these people have,
Like the
and
hand to
that
hand was shown in Dragon Ball, but once
exactly,
Dragon Ball ends,
yeah,
like that's when it's just all nothing about power and speed. That's all
yeah,
it's about. You know?
exactly, and that makes hand to hand negligible. So Batman still is a
Like
superior.
really, we didn't get like martial arts or like hand to hand again until we saw the fight with Hit and Goku. We
Yeah,
kind of
that's
got some martial art vibes with
some.
that fight. That was a pretty cool one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or
But
like
even
Ultra
that still
Instinct,
had like
kinda.
the whole
Yeah,
yeah. Even that had the whole like speed and power dynamic still to a high because Hit was over here what like fucking time traveling and shit with like his fighting style.
yeah.
Like he had some crazy. I mean, so yeah, so like again, like you know, yeah, that's it's not known for that
Yeah,
anymore. Yeah.
it's not equivalent, I guess, like to compare the nature of these guys' combat styles, you
Yeah,
know.
and that puts Goku at a disadvantage compared to Batman too, because if he's always just needing power, right, to surpass and not really
Yeah,
focusing on the fighting elements, Batman is always focusing on the fighting elements and having
yeah,
to do better and better and outfight somebody or whatever, or aliens to outfight their alien martial, like all this shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like he's always dealing with that challenge and continuing to
And,
improve his fighting prowess. You
yeah,
know,
what's a
so
perfect example is, and this is the most, probably the best example, is Broly versus Goku in the Super movie. It didn't matter that
yeah,
Broly was dog shit fighter, didn't know what the fuck he was doing. As soon as he
yeah.
overpowered him, he dog walked Goku. He fucking
Yeah,
beat the shit
bro,
out of
bro,
him.
they had no fighting.
No fighting
Goku, bro,
experience. Yeah,
Goku and Vegeta had all eons of fighting experience in martial arts, and
yeah.
Broly was like, "Get that shit out of
He
here! I'm just
slammed
gonna
their asses into
overpower
the
you."
wall. He
You
was
know?
like banging
Yeah,
his ass
like
into the wall, dead ass. It
so.
was like, bro, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It doesn't matter. So,
it doesn't
it,
matter. Yeah.
yeah, when you're that fucking powerful, you're just gonna slam someone into the fucking wall and beat their ass. It's that simple. So,
Yeah, and then with Batman, like obviously he's aware of that being his weakness. Like he knows
yeah,
he's that
that's
guy
all
when
he
it comes to
has.
martial arts.
Yeah,
Yeah, because that's all he has is his martial arts and intellect. So like he knows he has that all day, every day. But when it comes to power cliffing, he has obviously no control over that. So what does he do? He'll use his intelligence to either
extreme
find a
techniques.
weakness that he can
Yeah,
exploit, or weaken you,
yeah.
or he'll get a suit to
A
overcome
suit.
that power difference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then his skill comes
So
into play because, like, he's so good at
exactly.
fighting that if you can even the odds power wise, he'll just outskill you, at that
It
point.
is
So,
outskill you. Yep, and you're
yeah.
fucked. Yep.
And that's
So
all he has,
that, that's
that's
why
his
he beat
skill.
Darkseid.
Yeah,
Darkseid, he literally beat him because he has all his skills and the power level. Like
exactly.
Darkseid is just used to being way more powerful than motherfuckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
exactly. But yeah, folks, we're gonna go a couple more minutes and then we'll do what we used to do, a minute, $1 per minute. So if you guys want us to keep going, $1 per minute, we'll keep going. But yeah, a couple more
yeah.
minutes. W stream, Marcus, Little Grumman, W. It's crazy that we were about to end it and then we got W done. That's fire. Appreciate you guys a ton. By the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button. It's really appreciated. W donos, W chat. We definitely want to bring back consistency for you folks. Bring back just regularity, regularity
Yeah.
and consistency, scheduling, and content. I've had a lot of ideas. It's just with the RL career, it's been tedious. The nature of the work I do, I'm in tech and stuff, so it's very tedious in nature. It like zaps a lot of energy, but I
Time
love what
fulfillment.
yeah,
Yep.
but I do love this, and now that I'm gaining some seniority there, luckily, and gonna get a different position where it's more so responsibility rather than tediousness. I'll have more
Yep.
energy mentally to do more content, and I'm already, I have two editors doing two separate platforms. Again, subscribe to the clip channel. A lot of it's gonna get clipped for sure by the W editor and TikTok as well. That's already in the works, so go subscribe to that channel. There's already two videos there. Shut W editor, by the way. Um, and the second channel, which is mostly comic book content. I got like Omni-Man versus Homelander. I have Flash versus Minato. I did a while ago. I have a few of them on there. Floyd Mayweather, why he's the GOAT, stuff like that. There's a lot of that kind of content. And of course, the main channel where it's mostly anime focused. So expect all that. So yeah, make sure to be up to tune with all that. A couple more minutes. But yeah, any final questions you may have, or if someone donates, we'll stay a little, $1 a minute, like I said. But yeah, it ended up being a W stream. It started out a little
Yeah,
slow,
no.
but it ended up
WS
being
stream, man. Yep.
WS stream. We just wished Shinobi was here. It's hopefully
Yeah.
he's back
Hey, you
soon.
just reminded me. I'm hoping our boy comes soon, man. I
Yes,
know you guys
sir.
probably miss him. So,
Yeah, we
yep.
all do for sure. It's been a minute. Yeah, brother. If you're watching Shinobi, hope we get to see you again, man. For sure. You know, get those
Yes,
OG
sir. Yes, sir.
vibes.
You are missed.
Yes, sir. Get those OG vibes
We
back,
we
just like
need
back in
we
the
need
day.
them. We need them Pain or Nagato greater than Itachi arguments. Okay, come on.
Facts, facts. Yeah, we need that shit in here, man. It's not the same. We got people get tired of me saying Itachi Blitz Pain, man. People get tired of it. So of getting tired of me saying Itachi Blitz Nagato. So yeah, no, Batman gets raw intelligence over Goku. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Better analytical skills, better deduction skills. Yeah. Um, yeah. By the way, Johnny Lawrence he's a legend, dude. Johnny Lawrence is a W, by the way. I almost like him more than Daniel because of Cobra Kai. He's that fire. His aura grew so much in that show. Um, yeah, folks, I think we're gonna wait about a minute more. Minute more. This has definitely been peak. I'm gonna try. Okay, so it's either gonna be Friday or Saturday. More than likely next week as far as streams. I'm gonna try my best to do Saturday because it seems like you guys like that the most. Maybe I'll do a poll and see what day you guys like the most. Soon it will be just Saturdays again. When I get like the right position in my career and it's only weekdays there, so I can be here weekends. But we'll see if that's the case. We'll see if that's the case, and I think very soon, next couple of months, that should be the case. Back to the OG Saturday vibes. Lawrence Stark reminds me of Johnny's Joe stories, funnily enough. Yeah, Johnny Lawrence's arc man, it was so good, man. The ending was so good with Kreese, the last episode of the last season. It was so good, man. I think William Zabka deserves a fucking whatever they get, Grammy or Oscar or whatever. Whatever it is, he deserves it. Whatever actors get, he deserves it for best, lead actor, man. He killed it. He killed that shit. That was so good. But yeah, folks, we're gonna wrap it up. This was a extremely W stream. We really appreciate you folks. We will be back next week. Try to make it weekly again. Expect streams. Again, subscribe to the Clips channel if you haven't already. It's in the description. Just started it. There's 2 clips up. Expect multiple from this stream coming next week. Love you all. Love you all, folks, and we'll see you next time.